disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. Just, I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He's just cute little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. Lomito! Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Welcome everybody to the Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. Yeah, this is your friend Mr. BDA, and alongside with me as always my co-host, the one, the only King Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Let me just boost your volume up a little bit here. I got you very low. There we go. I also got Stu and Gonzalo dropping by already, nice and early, bright and early. Let me tell you something, fellas, before we get down to the fun, which is of course the big fight this Saturday between Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez and Juan Francisco El Gallito Estrada. Don't forget that you can donate with the super chat, all right? This is more important now than ever because I think now we got to pay U.S. taxes based on everything we make off of YouTube. So what you donate, we use it to cover the Spreaker costs and the Blog Talk costs so that you guys can call in, and as well with the Spreaker to listen to the episodes whenever you want. So every little bit helps. You can go to the Discord, the Patreon, you can go to the PayPal, or you can donate via the Super Chat feature during the show. Nordic Warrior says, stop begging for donations, BDA. I have to now. Now we have to, man. Now we're against it now. Taxes, the taxman. You do not screw with the taxman. That's what my father always used to say. We're going to get to that, by the way. We're going to get to the Gonzalo Estrada fight. The most important thing, of course, is that you guys continue to hit the thumbs up button, like if you haven't done so already, and to subscribe if you haven't done so already. All right, fellas? Shout out to Nordic Warrior Gaming, Mad Chad, Don Ramon, GB Guthrie, Triple JJJ, shout out to Triple JJJ, Marcy D, Mad Chad, Michael Poe, Jim McDonald Boxing. By the way, Jim McDonald's Boxing channel is pretty funny, man. He takes some of the weirdest boxing stuff going around. I saw that Tyson Fury's father is selling some sort of spring water or something that's supposed to be like miracle water or something. I don't know. It was pretty bizarre. Certainly not giving Irish Travelers a good name. Blue Collar Sport TV, Jaguar in the house as well, Adam UK, GB Guthrie. I see we got Stu there as well. Michael Poe. By the way, Michael, thank you for your contribution from earlier in the show where he said testing for and a super chat. Shout out to Jaguar, who says, what's up, guys? What's up? Right back to you. So we got Mark 2 from Unrivaled Boxing Talk. Like I said, Blue Collar Sport TV, aka Del Boy. So one last announcement before we continue then and on to the panelists. This is an official preview show, but I will be hosting, possibly on Friday, unless things go a different way, but I want to do a special Discord film analysis, meaning I'll create a Discord subgroup within our Discord. So everybody that's already in the Discord can join in, see the screen that I'm sharing, which is we're going to look at Estrada's last fight against Cuadras and Gonzalez's last. What's
Are we
that?
doing the fight analysis today or Friday?
Friday. That's what I'm saying. Friday, I'm going to create a subgroup here
Okay.
so everybody can join. Everybody that's already in the Discord, anybody that jumps into the Discord can jump into the room. And we're going to be looking at clips from each guy's last fight. Not all of their fights because, they go back 9 years. So that's about it. Listen, enough about me, man.
Also,
Thank you. Yeah.
The people on YouTube can see what you're showing on screen.
I'm still thinking about that, but yes, for the moment, yes,
What?
of course. Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, Jaguar donating again. And he says for the tax man. All right, shout out to Jaguar for his contributions. They really help us out. They really do. And we're gonna, as soon as we get the time, we're gonna start adding whatever we can on Discord. Even if it's a joint film analysis, maybe a special film analysis that we do with the panelists, so that you guys can enjoy it. I mean, we're gonna do it all. Anyway, listen. This Saturday,
The Chocolatito.
Chocolatito. And by the way, people keep saying Chocolatito. Hey, Chocolatito. I don't know if I'm going to say with the English accent or with the Spanish accent. Which one should we go for? Chocolatito or Chocolatito? You tell me, man.
The British commentator who used to call Chocolatito child. And who was it?
Oh well, it depends. And it depends if Macklin's commentating, and it's Chocolatito, isn't it?
Yeah, Chocolatito.
I mean, I tell you, man. But hey, listen, it's a fight that's
I
almost.
was watching the first fight, and these commentators, I think they were from Showtime or something. They were calling Roman Gonzalez Ramon. Ramon Gonzalez. I was like, what the fuck?
It wasn't Showtime. It was something else. Yeah, and the commentary kept going, Larry, because Larry Holmes was one of the commentators. Larry, you might never see a fight like this again in 8-9 years. I'm thinking, well, it certainly took 8-9 years for the rematch to happen. That's for sure. But let's get everybody's thoughts on this fight. Let's start with Gonzalo, because I know he's got plenty to say about this. Gonzalo, are you there?
Hey, how's it going, Mr. PDA?
I'm doing fantastic, Gonzalo. Thank you, man. Hope you're doing great as well. And look, we got a fantastic fight this Saturday, man. What are your thoughts on it?
Interesting. I just watched the first fight this morning, right before I got on the show. I had watched it before, but it's a good fight. At the time, the first one, if we can go back to that, Estrada was 22 years of age. Chocolatito was maybe just a little bit older by a year or two, but he was, at the time, in his full glory. Firing at all cylinders, running through his opposition, being real dominant, Nowadays, he's still very dominant, but not as dominant, 2 weights removed, fighting at a higher weight class. So, he can still do the business, but he's not looking as he used to when he was doing that at 2 weights below. So, I mean, the dynamic of the fight I think it's changed a little bit. The strength is favoring Estrada this time around, where in the first fight, it was Gonzalez bullying the 22-year-old against the ropes, and that's where Gonzalez won the fight, because Estrada is a guy that likes to scoot a little back. He moves a little back and allows the other guy to collapse the pocket, and when the other guy falls in, he is able to step back, load up, and push in with punches, push up with the uppercut, pretty much hiding the fact that he loads up by stepping back and allowing the other guy to come in, then he punches. And that's why he couldn't get leverage when he was getting pushed back against the ropes, because you can't really put leverage behind your punches, as I think Larry Holmes was alluding to. When you get pushed back against the ropes, you can't really get the same leverage you can as if when you're fighting in the center of the ring. And in the center of the ring, Estrada was having a lot of success in that first fight. Mm-hmm. So I think, that now that the strength is favoring Estrada, that's going to give him the ability to not get pushed back against the ropes and have it to where they're going to fight in the center of the ring, where, like I said, once again, he was having a lot of success in that first fight. Now, I still think that Gonzalez, basically he's a more skilled all-around fighter, because he's more active, he's fluid, he throws a short left hook that's real sneaky, that the other fighter can't really get away from. But you know, this is gonna have a lot to do with the fact that who controls the fight, and I think that Estrada's gonna control it because he's just a little bit stronger nowadays. He's bigger, and he's not gonna get pushed around like he did in that first fight.
Well, he certainly looked like
that's basically it, BDA.
He certainly looked. That's a good analysis. He did look like a skeleton a little bit in the first Gonzalez fight, and you might be right. Now, everything you mentioned, that's why I want to go straight to Bucho, because we were talking about this fight a bit. Bucho, you seem to agree with Gonzalo and maybe even take a little bit further, right?
About the backing up? Or,
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's Estrada needs to keep the fight in the center of the ring. He needs to also move, but pick his shots. You know, don't not just move around. And he needs to pick his shot. Obviously, I think he can eventually hurt Chocolatito Gonzalez. And the weight. This is happening at a different weight. People like forget this. This is happening 9 years later. Or how many? 11 almost years
No,
later.
no. Almost 9.
No, 10,
Technically
10.
8. Yeah.
When was 2012?
November 2012, I believe.
And what happened in that period? You know, Chocolatito got destroyed when he fought the rugby fight, the second fight.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah, I must admit, I actually agree with Butcho, what Butcho just said. I think.
Well, why do you say it that way?
Estrada.
Why do you say it like, oh, well, I actually agree, as if everything he says is bullshit, normally?
don't piss off Stu.
No, what I meant is,
yeah.
What I meant is, I agree with him. If Estrada wants to win this fight, he has to be fighting in the center of the ring. I noticed in the first fight, it's been a while since I've seen that fight, but I noticed that that's when Estrada was doing his best work, when he was standing in the center of the ring and punching with Chocolatito. Because I think if you try and run from Chocolatito, he just overwhelms you. You know, the jab, it's the constant feint, the constant changing up of the rhythm. It's just constantly on your case, and he's a very hard man to get away from. I think the best way to fight him is what Rungvisai did: stood in the pocket mid-range and just punch with him. All right, you're going to get hit, but you're the bigger man. You know, sometimes you're going to have to take a shot to land one against Chocolatito. I think Cal Yafire found that out very quickly when he thought he could use slick boxing skills to get away from Chocolatito. It's not going to work because the guy just overwhelms you mentally. It's not even a physical, it's just a mentally thing, even physically as well. I mean, you can't, but Estrada was trying to run the early rounds, and that's when, and Chocolatito is just world class at cutting off the ring. And then once he's in range to let his hands go, he's just a hard man to get off you. When you're trying
he's
to
like
run
Golovkin, right? He's a lot like Golovkin. He puts pressure with his feet.
Very right, very like Golovkin. Very, very good at cutting off the ring, cutting off the angles. So I find that with Estrada, that he did his best work when he was doing and was fighting Chocolatito. I think when he was running, I think he was down on the cards. I had Chocolatito winning that fight, by the way, but I think Estrada left it just a little bit too late before he realised what he had to do to beat Chocolatito. I think in the second fight, I got a feeling Estrada might pull this one off. Bigger, like Butcher said, bigger guy now. I think he's grown into that weight. Chocolatito's actually, he's eating himself into that weight, where Estrada's just grown naturally into that weight, I think, and looks a big guy there. So I just think it's just Estrada's probably top 10 pound for pound for me right now, the way he's fighting. So Chocolatito is as well. But
Stu, remember when Chocolatito was fighting Rungvisai, we were saying he just looked a little bit small for this weight division. Remember, we said
this is it. You know,
yeah,
of course. But Joe, it's like Lomachenko. You can. There's a limit to how you can keep going up and winning. There's going to be a time when you fight a guy that's just far too big and he overwhelms you. And I think there was a problem with Lomachenko. He just couldn't get inside Teofimo's range. He was struggling before that with Pedraza and even Campbell at times and Linares. So he was struggling to get in range anyway. But I think that's why he struggled with Teofimo. I think Estrada will have to go about business with this one. I don't think he can just sit on the back foot trying to box his way to a points win against Chocolatito. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to be very busy. You're going to have a good tank. But I think he's just going to be a bit too young, a bit fresh, too fresh for Chocolatito. But hey, you never know.
All right,
And
let's
that's
get
the
to.
problem that Gonzalez.
Go ahead, Gonzalo. Finish up what you were saying.
That's the problem that Gonzalez faces since he's a great fighter with the mentality of a champion. He's no slouch. He's gonna go for the gusto. He's gonna go out on the shield, and he's still
Yeah.
gonna try to rack up the combinations. And win the rounds, and he's gonna do everything in his power. But in the end, he just might get clipped by a counter right hook. They ultimately both fighters might end up kissing the canvas. That type of fight, and in the end, Gonzalez might get knocked out. I see this fight similar to the Marcus Pacquiao 4 fight, to be honest.
All right,
Yeah,
now.
I think Chocolatito just the size with Chocolatito as well. I mean, and Estrada's just a very rangy guy, isn't he? He's got a perfect physique for a fighter, man. Long arms, just a big guy, man. I just think he's going to walk onto one. I think Nordic Warrior said it well in the chat when he said just a bit too young and fresh. He thinks he's going to walk Chocolatito back, walk him down, and that's the best way to beat Chocolatito. If you let Chocolatito fight at his own rhythm and his own pace, he's going to beat the brakes off you. You've got to push him back. You've got to put it on him. You've got to punch with him.
Yeah, man, and I want to get to that. Because you guys aren't the only ones that are saying that. But real quick, shout out to Michael Poe for his contribution. He says, "Precise missed the debate show. But there were still a lot of panelists." All right, shout out to Michael Poe. Yeah, we're gonna keep the kumite going, man. People seem to enjoy them. I seem to enjoy what I heard of it, and we're gonna keep on doing them. So shout out to Michael Poe, who contributed again later on. He says, "Off topic, but does anybody think Fury is off, or is he playing games?" Or do you think he's ready? Well, Michael Poe, we're going to talk about that maybe later on. For now, we're sticking to Gonzalez Estrada. But thank you for your contribution. That's a great question. That seems to be a lot of drama around that subject. Real quick, let me get to Mark. Let me get to Mark. Mark, I know you did a video over on your channel, but if you could give us a little preview of your thoughts about this fantastic matchup we got between Estrada and Gonzalez.
Yeah, I think it's got fight of the year contender written all over it. It's got massive pound for pound implications. One guy is more the counter puncher in Estrada. One guy's more the pressure fighter, obviously, in Gonzalez. But both guys can pressure. They can both fight inside the pocket. Absolute war. I think it's going to be very tight on the scorecards. Very, very tight on the scorecards to some extent. I think there's going to be a split decision. But I think the start of the fight, since the first fight, where Estrada actually started quite fast in that first round, since then, as a champion, he's changed up a bit and he's more mid-round to late, a stamina outlast you guy, right? And he comes out quite cold now, quite a bit, and you can catch him early on, as we saw in the Quadras fight. And a couple of things that I've been listening to were people talking about size and strength, and people were also talking about freshness. I don't think either guy is fresh, to be honest, because let's look at the last fight for Estrada against Quadras, right? If this guy was so fresh, why did he get hurt and had a really tough night with a dude who everybody thought was shot? Everybody thought Quadras was shot after the Arroyo fight. They thought he wasn't the same guy, and he struggled there. He didn't look on it against BMon either. And that's ever since his elbow surgery. And people keep leaving out that this man had a very serious surgery on his elbow, and his shots, they're not he's pulling them a little bit more than he used to. So, I mean, I do agree with the idea of keeping it in the center of the ring, but I think this fight's going to be won in the middle rounds, to be honest. I think Estrada will pick up the last 3, and Roman will probably pick up 3 of the first 4.
All right, so that's an interesting take right there in regards to the elbow as well, because you even in their first fight you could see that Estrada was coming back. That's what I liked about the first fight, by the way, that Gonzalez going in there, started off slow, like Mark said. Once he started turning it up, Estrada was right there with him, coming back with combinations of his own. That's what made it a great fight, and that's what made you pay attention to Estrada, because you were going, whoa, this guy never wilted against Gonzalez. But it's true, you see the difference between Gonzalez and Estrada. Estrada does not turn on his shots that much, whereas Gonzalez does. And we're going to take a look at that, by the way, on Friday when we do the film analysis there. A shout out to Chris K for contribution. He says, Chocolatito by close unanimous decision unless he is shot. I don't think either guy is shot, let me tell you that much right now. But in regards to what you fellas were saying about Estrada needing to push Gonzalez back, it's true. Larry Holmes said that as well in the first fight, right? He kept saying, "No, man, he needs to push him back. He can't just stand there and on the ropes." And Gonzalo said so too. If you're on the ropes, you don't generate the leverage. Well, if you go to Ring TV, there's an article where they interview Brian Viloria, who, as you remember, fought both Estrada and Gonzalez, and he said the same thing. He says, "Look, Estrada has to fight on the inside. I mean, he has to push him back. He can't be moving around." And I agree with that. And I think you guys agree with that too, right? Like if he backs up against Gonzalez, he gives him momentum. Now, of course, if he stays inside with him, he's gonna get chopped up with the combinations. But I suppose that the conclusion we come to is he's got no choice. It's gonna be a hard fight either way for both guys, right?
It is.
Yeah. He doesn't turn his punches over. I haven't really paid attention to that as much as maybe some of you guys have. But the thing that what Estrada does when he moves back, he moves back to load up, similar to like what Valdez did against Burchell. He moves back to allow the other guy to collapse the pocket, and as he moves back, he loads up, pretty much disguising the fact that he's loading up, so he won't telegraph. He moves back, he loads up, and when the other guy steps in, he punches. Now, the problem with that, though, maybe that contributed to him getting pushed back against the ropes, because Gonzalez, he's pretty quick and fluid on the combinations. They're short, and he'll be on you like fucking white on rice. So maybe that contributed for him for Estrada to get pushed back. But the problem with that as he's moving back, he could also get caught by big right hands by Gonzalez. So I understand that Estrada does that to load up, but he's got to be very careful because when you move back and you're a guy like Gonzalez is on you like white on rice, you might not get the opportunity to land your counter. You might not get the opportunity to get the punches that you want to get off because Gonzalez still got power, right? And he could overwhelm you.
Yeah, I think Gonzalez knew that. That's a lot of times when Estrada took a step back, he was going to throw a punch. So he already knows that. Like sometimes, so he's able to counter.
Yeah. Sorry for getting carried away on that. I just had a hard time explaining. Anyway,
no problem, man. I appreciate. Hey, listen, we all appreciate your.
Can I just address this for 2 minutes, please? Nordic Warrior and Matthias, I think his name is. I think they're trolling me. They're trying to say that Sturm and Svenotka are underrated legends that never got gift decisions. And he's trying to convince me. I mean, saying that I don't know what I'm talking about. I watched it live. When Mummy was feeding you that little rusk and that little bottle at 7 o'clock before bedtime, I was watching his fights live. I remember the guy Robin Reed was, one of the most disgraceful fights I've ever seen. And that's for Felix Sturm. Don't get me started on him. I mean,
he get a bunch of decisions.
Come on, man. I mean, look. I don't know what your agenda is here, but just be honest, man. Look. Just because he's on about but Eastern European biased commentary. Well, it's in fucking Germany. What did you want? Do you know what I mean? Australians doing the commentary for you. Come on, man.
Another German, Marcus Bayer. I remember he got a bunch of decisions too, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know at some point he fought this Canadian boxer Eric Lucas, and Bayer lost that fight, and they gave it to him. So it was. I mean, that's Germany. I don't know if the message here is that Germany is corrupt as fuck. I mean, you gotta be kidding me, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
He just said that. He just said that Robin Reed was honestly beaten. I mean, that's probably one of the most disgraceful fights I've seen in decades. Yeah, he was. Man, I don't know what to say, man. I'm lost for words.
Well, I mean, listen, I remember back in the day reading, this was pre-YouTube, I couldn't see the fights, but I remember I was reading Ring Magazine, and they're not exactly the bias type, and when Charles Brewer fought Sven Otke, they said that was a robbery. When Reed fought Otke, they said robbery. When Byron Mitchell fought him, some people said very close. I don't think they said robbery, but they said very, very close. So, I mean, I don't know. That's two. Take away the Mitchell fight. There's two fights there where people say, actually, if you count the second Brewer fight, I think they also called that one a robbery. I don't remember. Anyway, why are we talking about this when we got a great fight on Saturday? Come on, fellas. You see, this is what these people in the chat do sometimes. I mean, I love people in the chat, and yet I hate them at the same time because they always want to go after us. Call me a trampire, call Bucho a drunk, call Gonzalo a guy who doesn't feed his dog, which is why Lobito's always barking in the background. I've had enough of this. Leave us alone.
And I'm a cokehead that wears skinny jeans. So, at the end of the day, we've all got some.
That's a half truth.
Yeah, there's one part that's true.
It's actually all of it's true. Actually,
No, but seriously, let's get
I'm
back.
only fucking joking.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Yeah, let's get back to
you're
the.
right. You're right. Well, why, like that's the chat, man. Like Stu said, the chat can be like toxic sometimes.
Sometimes. No, but listen, at the end of the day, we can all come together as boxing fans, whether we agree or not that Otke was a bum. We can all come together and acknowledge that this fight on Saturday, look, it's 9 years in the making. Well, 8 years in the making. I still can't believe it's happening. Because there was a point there after Gonzalez got knocked out, and then Estrada lost against Sorong Visa, and I was thinking, okay, so what's next? It's like Sorong Visa, what does he do? Does he fight Inoue, go up in weight? I mean, what's next? Well, it turns out Estrada came back. By the way, that Estrada versus Sorong Visa thing, I still don't give Estrada full credit for that win, man, because of the way Sorong Visa. I mean, look, it's Sorong Visa's fault that he fought him that way, but it's almost as if Gonzalez comes into this rematch and he fights Southpaw the first 6 rounds. You know what I mean? It was bizarre, man. I still don't know what happened there with Sorong Visa and why he decided to fight Orthodox when in the first fight he did perfectly fine against Estrada from the Southpaw position. But hey, it is what it is. Estrada did get the win. He looked mobile. He looked quick. And Gonzalo, that brings me to the other point. I remember when we were watching the fight on Discord, the Estrada Cuadras rematch, and you said, I was complaining that Estrada was looking sloppy, and you said, well, it's because he's sitting down on power more. He doesn't want it to go to the wire the way it did against Cuadras the first time, where it was a very close decision. He pulled it out in the end with that knockdown. You said he was concentrating on power. Do you think he's going to go in there and look sloppy this Saturday, or is it going to be a different type of Estrada?
Well, I think Estrada looked sloppy because you had Cuadras, the strong dude that it's not really like a technically skilled fighter in Cuadras, but he's big and strong, so he jumped on Estrada. And Estrada, like some of you guys when Rival says now he comes in cold. He takes a few rounds to settle in, to get his timing down. Since the other guy jumped on him in Cuadras, he wasn't able to fine tune his machine, his offense. So he couldn't settle down what he wanted to do. So he had to basically do what he could. He had to react, without getting your timing down, throw punches with the guy that's punching with you. So that's why he got clipped. And I would advise the Gonzalez to do the same, to jump on this guy, especially since you've already fought him and you know him. Don't allow him to get his timing down. Don't allow him to settle in. Catch him cold. Don't give him the opportunity to figure out what he needs to do to put that into effect. No, go in there and do what you need to do. But I think Estrada, yeah, he's gonna concentrate on power, but he's gotta fine tune it before he throws it. He's gotta settle in and to see what kind of how Chocolatito advances, so he can be able to line them up and get the timing down and land those shots. Because if you swing the bat and you can't hit the ball, man, you're gonna be swinging that air. You're gonna be missing. So That's why I think he needs the few first rounds.
Let me add to that real quick, Bucho. Let me add real quick to that, but I got to read a super chat real quick. Reality's Voice donating via the super chat. Shout out to Reality's Voice. And he says, before I visit the bookies and decide which panelist words I should consider, could you confirm, is Stu still a flat earther? A flat earth believer, rather. Well, shout out to Reality's Voice for his contribution.
Listen, I never said that. I was a flat earth believer. What I said is, I'm open to the discussion about it, because there's many things that someone has said, and I thought, yeah, you're probably chatting shit, and it's come home to roost. That is true. So at the end of the day, you can never be ignorant. You've got to take all information in, and I like to take all information in and do my own research. And then look, I'm not. The likelihood is we're in a globe. I believe that, but I'm not against some of the ideas that the flat Earth conspiracy theorists have brought up. One of them being the sun and the moon. I mean, especially the sun being billions and billions and billions of miles away. I'm not sure about that.
Well, I'm not a flat earther.
It's funny how.
Go ahead.
That's all. That's where I am. I'm not going to get deep because it's a boxing show, but that's where I was. I mean, it's been a long time since we spoke about this, but I'm sure that's where he's coming from. But no, I'm not a flat earthist, but I do think that some of their points are quite valid. You know what I mean? Not all of them, but some of them.
Well, there you have it, fellas. And this isn't Carl Froch on the line. This is old Stu on the line, good old Stu. So don't people don't go afterwards thinking we got Carl Froch on the line. By the way, I don't believe the Earth is flat. I do believe it might be hollow, but that's a subject for another episode. By the way, I wanted to say something to what Gonzalo was talking about, the power and backing him up. People say that, people say, well, Gonzalez is not really that much of a counterpuncher, but I was rewatching the first Sorong Visay fight, and Sorong Visay was pushing him back in certain rounds, really trying to bully him. And even going backwards, Gonzalez was still able to whack him with those combinations. And remember, he also, I believe he dropped Viloria with a counter right hand, a very short counter hand. So, like I said before, if Estrada tries to go in there and tries to smother Gonzalez and all that, he's going to get hit back, right? I mean, it's not like Gonzalez is just this come forward guy.
Yeah, it's the same. He goes forward, and if you push him back just a little bit or a lot, he's still got that he's still got that drive. Even if you're driving him back, he's still got a drive to punch forward. It's like if you're holding if you're holding the car back, the car's gonna push you still. I mean, you can try to push him back, but the other guy's punches are flying back at you as well. I mean, it doesn't mean that just because he's not a counter puncher that he can't counter punch. I mean, his job is to throw punches. He's gonna throw punches any which way that he can.
Well, in regards to that, that's what I'm trying to ask here is, do you guys see this being easy for either guy is what I'm trying to get to? Because it seems like some people are saying, well, Estrada's a fresher guy, but let's say he's the fresher guy. He's still going to be met with a lot of resistance from Gonzalez. Or am I wrong?
Well, I mean, look.
He might get dropped, like somebody said.
Look,
I agree, but after maybe a
either
few
way,
rounds, yeah.
Sorry, brother. Go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, either way, both of these guys are going to be in a very tough fight. This is not going to be a walk in the park. Estrada's going to have to make his punches pay. He's going to have to because Chocolatito is going to be coming forward all night. He's going to have to get Chocolatito's respect early, hit him with a big shot, and make Chocolatito think twice about coming in. Because at the end of the day, once Chocolatito's in that pocket, magic happens, and he's very hard to get off you. You have to get his respect, hit him with a big shot, and he can be a bit like Pacquiao sometimes, where he flies in, and when he's flying in and leaning in with a jab, sometimes he comes a bit short. You can catch him with a counter then, but you've got to look. It's Chocolatito we're talking about. You're not just going to turn up and it's going to be an easy day at the office. This is going to be the fight of your life, either way you look at it. So, but that'd be my one. I think Estrada just might be a bit too big. I know you're saying about Mark doesn't believe the freshness is a big factor, and he could be right because Chocolatito is a fit kid. But I just think with the size, with that size difference, and there's a lot of size difference now, to be honest, because Chocolatito is still the same size he was when they fought the first time, where Estrada's even bigger. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, I think them big shots in the latter rounds, that's when the size starts to take its toll and the big shots start to tell. And I think that's why Estrada will probably. I'm with Nordic Warrior on this. I mean, this is what I am with him on, and I think Estrada can get the late stoppage on this one.
Yeah, even in the first fight, I just watched it. I noticed that Estrada was also bigger back then, but that didn't equate to him being the. I'm not gonna say the stronger puncher, the guy that was controlling the fight, because Gonzalez was pushing him back against the ropes, was pushing Estrada against the. Now I'm gonna credit that to lack of experience. So he was the bigger guy in the first fight, but now he's the bigger guy and he has the experience on his side as well. So if he doesn't allow Gonzalez to push him back against the ropes and fights in the center of the ring, man, I don't know. That's an entirely different fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing though. It's I believe that fight was at 108 pounds, right? The first one.
But the thing is though, it's just I watched, like I said. Sorry, go ahead, Mark. Go ahead. I've got a terrible delay. Go ahead, Mark.
I was going to say it's the only fight that they've had that Estrada's ever fought at 108 pounds. He was dragged down. He was a flyweight. He wasn't a light flyweight. He's never fought at 108 other than the Roman fight.
That's an interesting point right there then, because that means that he was actually the guy that got dragged, like he said, got dragged down. He wasn't even his weight. Nobody knew who he was, and he still managed to give Chocolatito a great fight. Butcher, you can say something?
That stoppage against. Jimmy's on. It's on the line.
Jimmy.
Hello, what's going on, guys?
We're doing fantastic over here in BDA land. Glad you're on board, man. Listen, Saturday we got Chocolatito versus El Gallito Estrada. What do you think about this fight? What are your thoughts on it? What can we expect?
Well, Chocolatito is just phenomenal. You know what I mean? He's just a talented kid. I used to, when he was in his prime, man, it was something to watch. And it's the problem with little guys, you'll notice like heavyweights, you can see a deterioration. Sometimes it's not so abrupt. With little guys, it's almost they hit their wall. You know what I mean? It's like, and I honestly thought he hit that wall when he got smoked by back in 2017 in Madison Square Garden. It sucked because that was the only time I ever saw Chocolatito fight live, and he got roasted. But so to see him come back and do as well as he has, and being a small guy, it just goes against the norms. But again, it's not surprising to be him who did that. But at this point, it's just really it's clock watching. Is this going to be the fight he hits the wall? If he doesn't, it could be anybody's fight. But Estrada is a little bigger, right? And I don't know. It's almost against my will to fucking go against Chocolatito. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with my heart.
Well, by the way, you sound a little low. You sound a little low.
I sound shitty?
Yeah, a little bit.
I knew it. This is a brand, dude. The most expensive headphones I bought yet. I'm gonna go with the shitty ones. All right, carry on.
The shitty ones. Well,
fuck.
I mean,
well, they're not shitty, but you know what I mean. What the fuck? All right.
It sounds like you're talking on far away from them. It's like I don't know. It's
on the right fucking here, man. God damn. All right. Yeah, I'll go get the other one.
I think we should go do a GoFundMe page to get Jimmy a proper mic. How about?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, it's hard to pick the right mic for you.
Nah, listen, I can hear him fine. I can hear him fine.
Dude, I paid $29 for wired. Like these things got wired little mic on it. Sony. It's supposed to be the best ones. $29.
Yeah, no, I'm only kidding.
$5.
I'm kidding, bro.
No, I know. It's
it might be that. It might be that Massachusetts internet. It might be that Massachusetts internet, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Liberal internet, yeah. All the people listening. All right.
The liberal internet. But hey, listen, Stu. So you're gonna stay off to watch this fight, or how's that gonna work?
What? This is Saturday night, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow night I'm out on the roads. I'm going around a chick's house, and it's going to be a very messy one. So Friday I'll be recovering. Hopefully Saturday I'll be fresh to stay up. I mean, look, that's one I'll be trying to stay awake for. Don't get me wrong. It's not one of them where I'm not interested. Of course I'm a boxing fan. I'm on about the best fight and the best, and this is the best fight and the best. I was really impressed with Chocolatito in his last performance against Calify. I really was. I thought it was a world class performance. But I just think Estrada is a different animal to Calify. Do you know what I mean?
Stu, if you're gonna stay up for one fight, man, this is it. I mean, don't stay up for Canelo Callum Smith or Canelo. Well, actually, you didn't stay up for Canelo.
I fucking did, actually, didn't I?
Yeah, not for Canelo Yildirim, though. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is the one.
Nah, Canelo Yildirim, man. Fuck.
Yeah, no. And by the way, there will be a.
Hey, I wouldn't open the curtains if it's in the garden to watch that.
Yeah, I didn't watch the fight either, man. And I'm surprised I managed to do that. But by the way, the fight, there will be a crowd because this is Texas, and there will be a 5,000 limit on it. But still, I mean, there will be a crowd. They told them they gotta wear masks unless they're eating or drinking, which means most people will be drinking the whole way through, so as to not to wear the gosh darn mask. But hey, it's good, man. Texas reopening. Telling the world, look, listen, let's just go against it. Let's go with it, man. Fuck what you've heard on the mainstream news, or they call it the lamestream news. But back to the fight itself. Here's what I've got a little graphic here, which I'm going to share with you soon. But I just want to get more people in because I got a graphic where we're going to break the fight down right in a couple of minutes, where we go, okay, who has the superior hand speed, who has the advantage with the jab, with the right hand, blah blah blah. And just to clarify, because I know the last time we did this was for Teofimo Lopez versus Lomachenko, and people were like, well, what do you mean by a better jab? Let's agree with this. A better jab can be if you consider a whole bunch of factors. So, for example, if a guy has the stronger jab, sharper, and it's also the sharper jab, and it's been proven throughout fights, then he's got the better jab. You see what I'm saying? We're not gonna go, well, maybe against this style specifically, it's gonna be the better jab. Now we gotta keep it to a certain degree, a little bit more transparent, right? Because I'm let me see here real quick, man. You guys can't see it, but I just want to go for it. So I think the first category is going to be precision, jab, right hand, left hook, uppercut, body work, corner cuts. Okay, so yeah. So like for example, right hand, we're going to have to go with consistently, who has demonstrated the better right hand, more accurate, stronger, faster. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we're gonna go for. Yeah, okay, yeah. So the other thing about Gonzalez is I wanted to talk about the rhythm of Gonzalez. He seems to take his time. He lets guys shoot shots at him. He parries shots very well, moves his head, bobs and weaves, slips. Sometimes he'll lean back and then come back. But he essentially lets the other guys let their hands go. And then he'll do that for about 20 seconds. He'll open up for about 10 seconds with vicious combinations and then goes right back to making the other guy work. Like Stu said, he'll also pressure, just cutting off the ring, not doing much, just cornering you all over the place. So with that being said, when he's not doing much, are those the times when Estrada is going to be working and then maybe try to tie Gonzalez up? Because that's the other thing. Estrada's not a big clincher. Do you guys think he should clinch more in this fight? Or is that a...
I think he should. I think he should for the win. Yeah. I think he really should clinch him. The only reason I think he should is because Chocolatito has a shit clinch game. It's terrible.
Yeah. I was gonna mention that, especially when he was when Estrada was on the ropes. I was like, well, he could clinch, but he doesn't want
to.
But
he doesn't. That's the thing. He doesn't clinch.
He's like one of Marcus. I remember even Marcus when he was hurt, instead of trying to clinch, he kept throwing fucking bombs. I mean, you can clinch. I just don't do it excessively like Mayweather.
Oh,
well, I would say no clinching. No clinching. Just get a good fight on the inside. Maybe the reason he don't clinch because he's waiting to land his counter shot. Instead of thinking of clinching, he's maybe thinking of taking that step back so he can throw a real counter. I mean, because if you're thinking about clinching, you ain't thinking about punching, right?
You gotta also time the clinch right. I mean, you can't just clinch. I've seen boxers you can tell they don't know how to clinch. And as they try to clinch, they're getting fucking tagged multiple times. So
well, that's the thing. That's the thing with Chocolatito. He's so busy. You start lunging into holds, you soon catch a few on the way in. I mean, look, you've got to time your moments holding, but that's a fight that's going to be. There's not going to be a lot of holding in that. Like I said, I noticed in the first fight, whenever Estrada early on in the fight, he tried to sort of fight on the back foot and run a little bit sort of thing. And he realised quickly that you just can't get away from this guy, Chocolatito. You have to stand there and punch with him and fight with him. And that's how you beat Chocolatito. He just mentally overwhelms you. It's just so much going on with Chocolatito. When I watch Chocolatito, I think to myself, thank fuck I'm not taking that sort of pressure. It's not even the punches, even the ones that he's throwing away and just you changing up the pace on them. And there's nothing behind him, but there's a big one coming behind that. And then it's just you're constantly thinking, you don't know what's coming, and you sort of give up. You think, I can't beat this guy. And that's when you start to fold mentally and physically, like Cal did. I mean, just got totally schooled. I mean, I thought Cal would give Chocolatito a better fight than that because I thought Chocolatito was on the slide, and I thought Cal was a better fighter than he was. Don't get me wrong, I picked Chocolatito to win, but I thought he'd give him a better fight, but that was just a one-sided beatdown. So look, you can't write Chocolatito off. I just think bit more than he can chew. He's a bit, with this Estrada kid. This Estrada kid is far better fighter than Cal that's for sure. And he's a pound for pounder as well. So look, size matters. When you've got two fighters at the same sort of level, that's when size kicks in. It doesn't matter. Like when you're Manny Pacquiao and you're fighting, say, Chris Algieri, that don't matter. It just doesn't matter then. But when you're both world-class operators, both equally matched, that's when the size kicks in.
That's right, man. Size does matter, man. Whatever the ladies tell you, fellas, they're lying to you. All right, that's just my experience.
Yeah. The more you make her cry, the better it is.
Oh,
one of these filthy little heathens that I used to fucking go and see, right? So she said to me one day, she said, she goes, I'm so glad that you haven't got a small dick because I'd have had to dump you. And I went, what? Are you serious? I went, you fucking shallow little cunt. I really did. I mean, this woman, mate, it don't matter how good I am as a person. No, it's a good job you ain't got a little dick or you. So I don't really sit there with a measure, but I'll just go by what she said. So
she was being nice.
Listen, I mean, yeah.
I also asked about the fight. Like Chocolatito was stopped by Rungvisai. He had that war in the first fight. Can Chocolatito start getting flashbacks if this turns into one of those fights?
Can anybody want to answer that one?
I mean, it's pure speculation.
Well, you know what? Gonzalez was pushing back Estrada in the first rounds. I don't know necessarily if the first one, but he was winning the first half. But then Estrada did something that caught Gonzalez's attention, and you could see when he was sitting in the corner in the first fight. Not that he looked discouraged, but he looked like he had his hands full. And now that's 9 years later. He's been knocked down, and Estrada's bigger. Man, he's really gonna have his hands full. That look of preoccupation might just get exacerbated, and he might be in serious deep waters in the beginning of that fight. Now, granted, Estrada doesn't start fast, but maybe in the middle rounds, something's gonna happen. I think they're both gonna kiss the canvas. Actually,
Oh man, that be. Listen, there's nothing more exciting. There are few things more exciting than two guys trading knockdowns. But that's the thing, though. Look, I think Estrada's biggest punch would be the right hand because that's the one that he seems to get more leverage on it. The left hook upstairs, it seems like he's not. And by the way, would it really be a good idea to trade hooks with Gonzalez? Because I think, well, we're gonna get into that. By the way, hey, by the way, also one thing: why does Gonzalez look very? This isn't a recent picture, by the way, but in the last 3 years, especially in the Sorong Visa rematch, he did look more bloated. I don't know if that's is he known for drinking beers?
He's overweight at 115. He's overweight. That dude's tiny, bro. He's tiny.
He's little.
He's a really small. 115 pounds is actually too heavy for him. That's 8 stone 3. He's really a 7 stone guy.
But why is he fat?
7 stone 7, bro.
But why is he fat?
That's what happens this is what happens when you eat your way into a division. You eat your way into a division, and your performance goes. You slow down. You're not as sharp. You're not as fresh, and the tank's not as good as it usually is. These are all factors, and I think when you see a fighter with a chubby gut, then you know he's eating himself into the division, and that's always a bad move.
So he's eating chimichangas instead of eating healthy and.
I have no idea what he's eating, but he's fucking eating something, isn't he? 'Cause he's definitely.
I also heard he's got a reputation for gaining weight in between fights, especially in this latter part of his career. Somewhere I heard that. I can't remember.
Yeah, well, that's the last.
It was from him. It was from him himself. He's actually gone on record and said that in interviews that he's ballooned up to a massive 120 pounds. For the rest of us, that's unbelievable to fathom. 120 pounds is massive, but for him, that's huge.
120 pounds. That's what I gained on a Saturday night, man. Listen, this guy should really watch it, man, because he does look bloated. And when I looked at him, he looks bloated, like he eats carbs. I don't know if he's drinking beer, like I said, eating too many chimichangas, whatever. He doesn't look like he's just essentially overeating. It looks like he loves to eat the unhealthiest things out there. Okay, so let's get some. No, actually, we're gonna save the predictions for later, man. We're gonna save the predictions for later. My thing about this fight also is in the first fight, like you guys were saying, Estrada drove him back. Do you think it was also partially, like Gonzalo said, that Gonzalez, it was a hard fight because he didn't really expect it to be a hard fight? Meaning, Estrada knew who Gonzalez was. Gonzalez didn't know who the fuck Estrada was. Now that they both know each other, do you think that's going to play a factor in there?
No, that's how Chocolatito always fights, no?
He always fights the same way.
Yeah.
Always. There's two things about him. He's gung-ho from start to finish, and he don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And that's what made it successful. But like now we're talking about this weight change, right? Can he still fight that way? And actually, I was trying to remember. That's what we were saying about Estrada. Remember now at 115, he's too big. Maybe he can't fight that way. We were talking about the fact that he's too small for that division, basically. So maybe finally, this because who has he fought since Rungvisai?
Estrada, you mean, or
the Choco?
Jafai, I would advise him to fight like he did Jafai. Jafai wasn't a big puncher, and Jafai's a mover. And Gonzalez systematically broke him apart. I wish Gonzalez would fight like that if he's thinking about winning, because you can't drive forward against a bigger guy, not thinking that you're ever, because you're going to get countered, and that's the limitation and the obstacle that he faces. That Estrada is going to throw big shots, and he is going to get hit, and that's why I do believe that he's going to get knocked out. But if he's smart, he would fight him a little bit more mobile. And I know he's the guy that pressures you and throws combinations and overwhelms you, and that's the style that he implements in order to smother you. Right, fucking, he's a great boxer. But you just kind of have to reinvent yourself a little bit because you're fighting out of your weight class, basically.
That's a good point. I mean, I also another question I got for you fellas is then, do you think Miguel Gonzalez, do you think Ramon Gonzalez, do you think Roman Gonzalez is gonna, how much is he gonna respect Estrada? Because he did respect him in the first fight a little bit. When Estrada would open up with those creative combinations, I mean, you could see Gonzalez going, oh shit, he's hitting me, which some shots are getting through that I didn't expect. Now that they're fighting 8 years later, is he gonna feel those shots more? And is
I
he
think
gonna
he
make
will, but I think he will. I think he's going to show him respect by trying his best at what he does. I don't think it's going to look like he's giving him respect by coming at him so aggressively. But he doesn't really know how to be extremely systematic. Even when we're talking about like the Yafai fight, he was very aggressive in that fight. Very aggressive.
Mhm.
Even if it was systematically breaking him down, he was ultra aggressive.
That's a good point. Yeah, so he's just gonna do what he does best, like you said, and that is put pressure, cut the ring off, and just eventually boom, 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 6, 7 punch combinations, and then all of a sudden back off, let the other guy reset a little bit, and then come back.
He may use more head movement.
More head movement. That's okay. Well, there you go. So that's an astute prediction.
8 years is a long time. 8 years is a long time. Yes, Chocolatito looked $1 million against Cowie Fire, but this fight was close 8 years ago. Estrada's gone on to the next level for me, and I think Chocolatito's still the great fighter he was, but he's fading for me. Where Estrada's getting better. All right, he's had a few dodgy performances with it. You know, I understand that. All fighters have bad days at the office, but I think Estrada's going to be at his best in this one. He has to be, because if he's not, he's going to get knocked the fuck out. So,
well,
yeah.
That's
If
the
I
thing,
put my house on a winner, I'd have to go with Estrada.
Yeah.
I just don't see how Chocolatito could get the job done this time around. And like I said, there's a lot of difference now between that Estrada and this one. He's a much bigger guy. You know, he's had a couple of good wins as well to put the confidence up. Some good wins, and like I said, most people's pound for pound list. So he's just got all the tools. He can sit there and fight, and he can box. But I just think the best way to beat Chocolatito is to fight with him. You've got to show a lot of heart and courage to beat Chocolatito, mate. Rungvisai will tell you that.
Oh yeah, he will.
That's the thing. If Estrada could manage to deal with Gonzalez's pressure a little bit better now at a higher weight, this is the thing. Okay, well, I still expect Gonzalez to overwhelm and outland, and many instances, I still expect him to be winning the rounds. But if Estrada can set a trap for him, and even if he gets peppered by 2-3 shots, and he can land his own take 3 to land 1, take 2 to land 1, set up a trap where he allows Gonzalez to step in, and he can step back and catch him with the counter uppercut, with the right uppercut or something along those lines, a power punch. Man, he could still be losing on the scorecards, and since he's bigger and he can deal with Gonzalez's offense, he can land really, really like a hard shot. All you gotta do is save his energy, conserve his power, get the timing down, and throw that punch.
But how do we know he's gonna deal with Gonzalez? Like we're sitting here assuming he's gonna be able to take this shot. I mean, he took him the last time, but you could tell that Estrada had to push himself to take the type of punishment that most guys can't take. I mean, he could get hurt at any time during this fight, and if he does get hurt,
that's right.
It takes a lot of.
You're right, absolutely.
You just nailed it, BDA. That's exactly what you got to do. You've got to dig deep waters, and you've got to be as tough as they come, and you got to be prepared to be in a dogfight. And Estrada has already shown that to me that he can do that. Cal Fire just wasn't ready for that sort of pressure. He just wasn't ready for it. Never seen anything like that in his life. Where Estrada has. Estrada's been in there with Chocolatito, gone the distance. I think he's using world-class fighters. They will make certain adjustments in the rematches that will get them the victory. And I just think that Estrada's got enough in his arsenal to make a couple of adjustments, and I think it'll be just enough. But like I said, Chocolatito, tremendous fighter.
Yeah, well, depending how they look on the scales, because if Estrada looks as big as he did against Rungvisai, I was like, wow, I was impressed. I know they're little guys, but I was impressed. He looked like a little bodybuilder. If he looks like that much stronger than Gonzalez, then that's something to think about.
Yeah, he's a wide guy.
The ring size. So the rings gonna maybe have He was gonna be a factor. So I'm looking at the first fight. The ring is super fucking small.
Let me
Then
check that out.
I also have. I was watching Rung Visai against Estrada second fight, and the ring looks a little bigger.
The ring will be The ring will be larger than it was in the first fight, from what I understand. Just because I heard McCaskill saying that the ring's going to be the standard, and they're on the undercard, so it's going to be her and Breakus in the undisputed fight, the women's fight. I know people don't care, but this is just where I heard this from. So they're going to be using the standard size ring, like a standard size world championship ring. So it should be a bit bigger than it was in the first fight.
Hey,
So
what's
who
the
will
name of
benefit from this? Who will benefit from this?
I don't know, actually. I think there's two ways of looking at it. Estrada has more places to move. Chocolatito has more places to pin.
I mean, see how it can go either way. Because I mean, I don't see
He could
Estrada.
overpressure. He could overpressure Estrada and outwork him that way with more space to move him around. Then Estrada he could tire out as well, and Estrada could take over because there's too much movement he has to do to keep up.
I think one thing about Chocolatito I like as well. For a small guy, he's got a fucking lovely jab, and he controls the fight with it a lot most of the time. But I just think Estrada matches him in that department right now. You know, and I just feel like he's gonna be chasing Estrada. He's gonna try and get on top of him, and he's gonna walk into something big. That's what I'm picturing in my mind right now.
I mean, look, there were certain instances in the first fight in which Estrada was fighting off the back foot and doing a good job of semi-controlling Gonzalez with his lead hand. But that was when Gonzalez, you could tell he was taking a bit of a break, letting Estrada, like, expend a little bit of energy, and then he would open up, like I said, 20 seconds, just a barrage of shots, and then he would go back. But that was the thing. I remember watching that fight live, because I didn't expect a good fight, but because, again, I didn't know who Estrada was. I was looking forward to Tysoncito Marquez against Viloria, and there was a point in the fight where Gonzalez had Estrada on the ropes, and he was shellacking with some of those combinations, and I said, okay, here we go. Estrada's about to go down or something. And Estrada out of nowhere, boom, 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 would come back with a combination of his own, all very reminiscent of Barrera Morales one, and I would go, who the fuck is this guy? Like this guy's got balls, man. So that's the thing, man. The heart that Estrada has and the conditioning. We're gonna get to that. I'm curious to hear who you guys think has a better conditioning. But man, let me tell you something. This is a very, very, very interesting fight. Before we continue, shout out to Iceman for his contribution. He says, American taxes, son of a bitch. Oh, Iceman, thank you for your contribution, man. I love the picture, by the way. The European Jesus on there. Overhand says, bullshit, the women are not the main event. Well, who says... Mark, did you say that?
No, they're not the main event. I'm just saying that she was told that they're going to be fighting in the standard world title fight ring. So,
okay.
Which is bigger than the original one because it was a size smaller.
Okay. All right, listen, that's a good to know, by the way. I got to go for 2 seconds, and then when I come back, we'll get to the comparisons there. But before I do, Mark, who's the female boxer whose trainer's an old black guy and they're banging each other, apparently?
I do not know, and I don't want to know.
It's a blonde woman, blonde boxer. She fought a guy...
Hardy.
What's her name?
Heather Hardy. She's banging her black trainer, who's much older. He's like 30 years older.
Well, I don't know why you had to say black. Well, I don't know why it was important to say.
Is that what you said, black?
Well, you said...
No, I said Afro. I said Afro-American. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I did mention it because it's bizarre that this guy. If I went to her Instagram a couple of years ago, and people were saying, "Is that your boyfriend?" And she would go like, "Yeah." She would have to explain that this old guy. But hey, shout out to him, man. Banging a younger female. That's the way it's supposed to be done, man. You know?
So, you were talking about Heather Hardy, though. That's who you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, have you seen the state of her? I think she's punching herself above weight. Get out.
Oh, jeez, Louise. She's not bad. Come, you guys tell me. You think she's
She looks like she's got some hard miles on her, dude.
And the last time I saw,
I'm just saying.
Look, bro. The last time I saw him melt like that, I was trying to eat Jack Cousteau. Okay.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
Hey, mate, the guy. Come on, man. She's got fucking cauliflower ears. Do you really want to get up in the morning and see that first thing for your breakfast? Come on, man.
Wait, she looks like
I think with makeup and glasses.
Yeah, well, that's the stripper look. I'm telling you right now.
Can you remember when Nez was simping over her for a while? He had her on the show and he was simping all over her, man. It made me sick to my stomach just listening to it.
What was he saying?
Oh, Heather, he's so good, Heather. I thought, well, this whiny little fucker, get him off here, man.
Oh,
I mean, can somebody confirm that she was or wasn't a stripper? I was told she was, and she has the look of one. She dresses like one.
So what?
She acts like what she does. No, dude, I lived in strip clubs. You kidding me? I was just curious if because I get that vibe. Who yelled "so what"?
If she was a stripper, then I don't think the employment requirements are as high as.
Oh, jeez, Luis. Yeah, I wonder what type of stock they had in that strip club. If she,
some story. Yeah,
I bet she wasn't the headliner in the.
Well, it depends on where it is, man. You go down the combat zone, man. Fucking chicks there like on a Tuesday. Shit, she's got fucking bullet holes and C-sections.
Yeah, it's fucking nasty.
Bullet wounds and C-sections. All you're getting.
Yeah. Oh man.
Who are you talking about now, guys?
Strippers.
Who?
Strippers.
I don't even know the fuck that is.
Yeah. Well, how did we end up talking about this boxer?
Look, I know basically nothing about women's boxing. I'm going to keep it real. I don't because I refuse to watch the garbage. Come on, man. I mean, like I said.
Well, now is it true that what's his fuck is his name there? Glazier. He tweeted out that Clarissa Shields pay-per-view sold 10,000.
No.
I mean, yeah, but that 10,000 people that need to evaluate their life.
Oh my god! But that's harsh for some of the shit she was saying. Wow, that must have been quite the reality.
Like to pay for Clarissa Shields, it just doesn't get any more embarrassing than that.
I mean,
dude, it's a certain type of guy who tweets it too. If you go to Twitter, do you look at the accounts of the guys who suck up to her, and they all got that look. You know what I mean?
Jimmy, which boxer?
Oh, mate, that pervy look.
Right.
I mean, look, I just can't fathom. Right, even watching a Clarissa Shields, never mind fucking typing my credit card details in and watching. Fuck off. I mean, come on.
Jimmy, wasn't there a famous boxer that tweeted, "Where can I stream your fight?" And she tweeted Clarissa Shields. Oh yeah, Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson. Here's a tweet. He says, "Somebody send me a link to Clarissa Shields." Like,
yeah, that's it. Hey, they're friends, and he couldn't even bother to fucking pay for it. That tells you everything you need to know.
I mean,
well, she, I guess I went to her Twitter account to see and something must have been good in her life because she was probably announcing she blocked 2,000 people this week.
Jeez.
Or something like that.
Wow.
But yeah, and I know it's a lot. And she's aggressive though, just the way she, like somebody with not even an insult, but just something that's not glowing. Like she's very insecure. Like anything, she just comes right. Who are you, you loser? You don't know how to box. You know what I mean? Just like she comes out swing. She got issues. And then in every tweet she puts in her thing. Oh, in one of her tweets, you should watch this fight. Watch my great performance against. It's like so self-promoting, and she puts greatest woman boxer of all time in every tweet. It's just so.
I was watching this, Jimmy. I was watching this film on Sky Sports the other day about the NFL, and I thought I'd watch the highlights. And for about half an hour, these women were on there talking about being equal in an NFL, having women coaches teaching men. These girls were just. I just thought. They're going to ruin our sports. Listen, we let them keep digging into our sports. They're going to ruin it like they ruin fucking everything. Look, I'm not being a sexist here now, but I don't want to hear some fucking woman with... Look, when I hear them, I'm doing the football commentary, I lose the will to live. I'll put the cricket on, and I've got some woman talking the cricket about me. Cricket to me. I'll put the rugby on. I've got some woman explaining the fucking scrum to me. I mean, I just want to watch... a man's sport with a man's voice over it that knows what he's fucking talking about. These women are just put there through quota through quotas. No, they're not there because they deserve to be there. And it just winds me up. And this NFL program for half an hour talking about how coaches are they want to leave a legacy by letting women come into their coaching team. What sort of legacy? That you're a fucking simp and you bow down to the. Well, what legacy are you leaving? I mean, look. What about that college that let that female kicker do the kicking? Fucking hell, she could barely kick it 20 yards. She's there. Why's she there? No wonder they keep getting stuffed 60-0 every week.
Fellas,
they deserve to get stuffed.
This is what we call, this is a prime example of toxic masculinity, man.
I am a victim of masculinity. And
that's right, man. I don't, listen, Stu is his own guy.
Misogynistic prick.
Yes, Stu, I mean, he lives in another era, man. What do you want from us?
Yeah, come back to the 21st century. So.
Yeah, the era where women were in the fucking kitchen being pretty and being ladies, not fucking on my TV talking about fucking scrumps.
Shout out to Burger
King. Right ups. Get out of here, man.
Shout out to Burger King.
Yeah, by the way, I posted a poll on BDA on the community section of the channel 2 days ago. Does women boxing interest you? Yes, 33%. No, 67%. And we got like 789 votes.
Oh,
so
the market speaks, right, Bucho?
I guess so. I mean,
how much of a sample size do you need? It's never taken off. Even at the height of Christy Martin or Leia Ali, they just couldn't sell it. It just never took off. And because they treat it as not the same, like it's not 3-minute rounds. You know what I mean? So heavier gloves. In MMA, it's the same shit for men and females. You know what I mean? It's the same rules, same time limit. That's why I find women's MMA far more enjoyable than female boxing.
And Jimmy, usually, you get a woman that's much, much better than the rest of the competition. So at some point, it just becomes boring. Like you got one.
Yeah, it does. You're sitting there watching two women that couldn't not candy floss off a stick. Just sitting there,
right.
standing square on, just punching each other in the face, and nothing's happening. I mean, look, I might as well go and watch an under-7 boxing match. Get at least I'll fucking hit a bit harder. Look, I'm not against women. Look, I love women, of course I do. I love women,
gentlemen.
Just not in a boxing ring, not on my telly commentating. Just leave us alone. We've got to put with you females all day long, and just we're on our little couple of hours where we can get with the lads, watch the football without hearing some fucking dumb blonde on the telly talking.
Yeah, I'm not saying they shouldn't be able to. Go ahead, Mark. You want to say something?
Yeah, can we stop talking about women's fucking boxing then?
Fuck that.
No.
But I'm not
to be toxically not to be like a male or anything. But I don't come on to BDA to sit here talking about Clarissa Shields for 20 minutes.
You can talk.
Can we just clarify that? Well, from my part, I don't mind. I mean, listen, women should do whatever the fuck they want. They want to box, that's fine. Just don't shove it down our throats. That's all I'm saying. I mean, when I pay for a boxing pay-per-view, I just want to see men fighting. You want to have a separate event with women boxing, that's fine. I mean, go. I hope for the best for these women boxers, and that's where it ends.
You fucked my tits, came all over my fucking face.
That's what I prefer. Rather than women's boxing, I don't want to hear anything about. Well, 2-time undisputed.
Hey, that's the stuff they should be concentrating on. That's what they're good at.
Oh,
leave the boxing and concentrate on that sort of stuff.
Jeez Louise.
2-time undisputed. 2-time undisputed. I'm like, can you tell me which champions did she beat?
Fuck you, cunt.
Bucho.
Give me a list.
Fuck you, cunt.
Well, Bucho, when she was at the height, when she was like first won that first division. Now there was a middleweight, right? There was 68 female middleweights registered professional boxers on the planet. So she's number one of 68. Wrap your head around that. How does that sport? It doesn't have enough doesn't have enough personnel to warrant. Right. That's what it is. You know what I mean? There's just not enough people doing it to warrant the space they're asking for. You know what I mean? That's just my fucking 2 cents on it.
Now lick my sweaty balls. Put your tongue up my asshole and start licking.
All right, listen, this is getting too much, man. Who's playing those sounds? Come on, let's go.
I don't know.
Kenshiro dropped a super chat. I'm looking for it here. All right, there we go. He says 10,000, and this spastic wants $1 million to fight. What does a 10,000 mean? What is he referring to? The 10,000?
10,000 pay-per-views.
That's what she put. No, 10,000 pay-per-view buys. That's what she got.
Oh, well, okay, there you go. That's
$1 million.
That says it all, man.
In an undisputed title fight. In an undisputed title fight at $30 a pop, she did 10K pay-per-views. Can it fuck off?
Yeah, let's move on. Let's listen. Mark was right, man. Let's move on, man.
This is entitlement that women in the Western world have got. They are so entitled. They expect everything given to them on a plate from them. They don't want to earn nothing. They don't want to fucking work hard for anything. They just want everything given to them. Oh, he gets a million. I want a million. Yeah, he's a world-class fighter that brings people to the table. You're a fucking nobody. That's the
Sounds like Caleb Plant.
Entitlement. It's like the English football team, right? The women's football team, what, the same pay as the men. I mean, you could just go and watch the English football team when the women's team when they're playing. I mean, the only people there is the guy selling the fucking burgers. He's the only one there walking around looking for someone to sell something to. No fucker there. No one wants. Even the women don't want to watch it. Yet they want the same money as the men who are bringing in millions in shirt sales and everything else. This is how entitled. Look. This is why they should just keep out of our sports, have their own, watch their own little things, play their own little games, go and play netball or something, and leave the alpha male sport.
You know, come on. Well, come on. It's just all in fun, guy.
What was that, Butcher?
In the chat, Pugla Cam in the chat says, we said, let's move on, and then we keep going back.
Yeah, let's move on. Especially now that we got recognized.
The graphs.
Yeah, let's go to the graph. But we also have to move on because Recognize just jumped in, and I know for a fact he hates this, so I don't want to get back into it, all right? So let's move on. Recognize, thank you for being on, man. Listen.
No problem, man. I just want to say I don't condone you guys are male chauvinist pigs.
Jeez, Luis. Listen.
I agree.
Change your ways.
Listen, let's move on. I'm going to share the screen with you fellas. As you can see there, I got the OBS. I'm sharing it with you on the Discord. So let's move on now to the graphics here. And there we go.
Give me 1 sec.
All right. Jimmy, can you see, by the way? Or I mean, you don't necessarily have to see it, but I mean, it does help. Because I know Jimmy, for some reason, he can't see the screen share. Can everybody see?
Stream?
Anyway, as we continue on this...
I put it up on the big screen, dude. I'm sorry. I thought I was talking to you, but I was on mute.
Don't worry about it.
I got it up.
While you guys confirm whether you can see it, SSB says, Stu's lights out little, let's be real, more women would rather watch the Kardashians than women's boxing. Exactly. It's like when they did Mad Max. Yeah. It's like when they did
that movie.
I don't want people to... Listen, I don't want people to think that I'm against women, because I'm not. I've got a mother, I've got a daughter, I've got a girlfriend. Well, you know what I mean? So, of course, I'm not against women. It's just, these are my sports. These are my hobbies. This is where I go to get away from nagging women that drive me insane, that always do my head. And so I get my little time to myself. So I watch the football, the boxing, come on the show with you guys. That's my time to myself. I don't want to be coming on here hearing a nagging woman. Even when I put my sat-nav on, it's in a nagging woman's voice. I've got to listen to her telling me where to drive. I mean, I just know getting away from them.
All right.
That's my point.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Listen, women don't want to watch boxing. That's just a fact. Whether
they want to watch 13 Shades of Grey.
It's just about having. You know,
it's true.
Boys need their own little time with the lads, don't they? Why do they always have? I mean, you know when you hang around with your boys, there's always that one boy that brings his burnt chick around, isn't it? You're just looking at it, what the fuck's she doing here, man? Come on, man.
All right,
that's
listen,
the most annoying. That is the most single-handedly annoying thing any of your mates can do. So, lads, are we gonna watch the fight tonight? It's like, yeah, everyone gets around. We've got the beer. You're ready for a fucking lads' night. And then you're like, all you hear at the door is, "I'm so glad you brought me." And you're like, "Oh, fucking!" I go mental.
Unless she's being invited to the BDA gangbang, then I understand why you would invite your girlfriend. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of...
that. All of my friends' girlfriends are
BDA gang.
All right, listen. Can everybody see the screen I'm sharing then on the Discord?
Precision jab right hand. I see it all, brother.
Perfect. How about everybody else? Gonzalo, I see you dropping in and out. I mean, can you see?
I got it. I switched devices and I'm on it right now.
I can't see it.
Fuck.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You're lying.
Bucho saw it coming. Bucho saw it coming.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
Hey boys, I'm gonna have to shoot off. because I've got to get up early tomorrow. I've got a lot to do.
All right, man.
You have a good night, Stu.
It's gonna be a late night, boys. I don't want to be fucking flagging tomorrow.
Take it easy, Stu. Take it easy, Stu.
Right,
Thank you
take
for
care,
that.
boys.
It sounds like Stu got a date. That's what it sounds.
He's
Yeah,
gonna he's gonna watch.
I've got a date tomorrow with a chick, but look,
A messy
I don't want to be
one.
fucking. I don't want to be looking like fucking Edward Scissorhands because I was up all night talking about Estrada. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the real reason
Fix your
he's
car,
leaving.
Stu?
Say again.
Your car? You fix your
Yeah,
car?
it cost me £3,200. It cost me. I shattered the whole front diff. I couldn't even get it refurbished. Audi wanted 5.5, 6 grand nearly. So yeah, I got an offshoot of Audi. They did it for 3,200. But yeah,
Stu,
still a
the
lot of
last
money, isn't it?
time, Stu, the last time you didn't realize you invited a girl over and you accidentally forgot to press mute, and this is what I heard.
What? I can't hear anything. It's just silent.
Nothing.
Ah,
All right.
oh, what the fuck?
You'd have heard a lot of moaning and groaning, a lot of slapping of cheeks.
Are you gonna sniff cocaine off the girl's ass? and
Oh,
shit?
was that what it was? Yeah, damn right, mate. You just give me a hey. Hey, recognise. Fucking do it with them sound bites, man. I'm trying to talk to recognise.
That's not me, man. That's not me. For Pete's sakes.
Recognise. You just give me an idea for tomorrow now, bro. Nice one.
No, I swear to God, it came from that was an actual audio. That came from you. I recorded it. I just happened to be.
He was hiding in the closet.
All right, listen.
All right.
We gotta move. This is getting too intense.
Do you know what I hear? Do you know what I
I'll
hear?
catch you guys later, man. It was a fun show, man. It was a fun
Take
show.
it easy,
Right,
Stu.
I'll
All right,
catch you guys
yeah,
later.
man.
Cheers, boys.
Some
Go ahead,
girl
man.
tomorrow night. Some girl tomorrow night is gonna get kimmed, bro. Like Eminem and Kim.
Oh, jeez, Louise. Listen, this is getting too dirty, even for me, man. So we're gonna move on. Let's go.
There's no such thing as too dirty for you. Come on.
Shut up.
I've seen
You're in the industry, man. You're in
I've
the
seen your
industry.
wardrobe.
My wardrobe. Nobody's seen my wardrobe. Come on, stop it.
I've seen your wardrobe, bro. I haven't seen flares since the 70s.
No, wait a minute. That's not true.
You know, you got to be in a good mood. Spring's all around, man. You know, love's in the air, and you can finally fucking bury bodies.
Oh, jeez, Louis. I'm getting butchered over here.
Ground's not frozen anymore.
I'm getting butchered over here, just like I butchered. Oh no, actually, forget it. Listen, let's go to the screen here, right, fellas? Chocolatito.
People hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like, please. It's gonna
Jeez,
help the channel.
Your volume all of a sudden got very loud, man. What the fuck? All right. Yeah, hit the like, fellas. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the like. Helps
Can
us
you
out.
guys hear me, by the way?
Yeah,
Yep.
I can hear you. Yeah. All right, listen. So we got the screen here. Precision. Let's start with precision. Who is the more accurate guy between Estrada and Gonzalez?
Chocolatito.
Yeah.
I actually think Estrada.
Oh, wait a minute. What?
I think Chocolatito throws so many more punches, so he lands more. But I think Estrada actually lands at a higher percentage.
Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Nothing
we
yet.
gotta
Pretty even.
Why, Gonzalo? What do you think?
Gonzalez throws 6-7 punches and he's tattooing you like a needle, you know. There's once he lands the first one, he's landing 3, 4, 5, 6 more. And Estrada throws that counter, that heavy counter, maybe 2 shots at a time. That counter, right uppercut and a left hook, you know, to boot. So he'll throw two counters, and Gonzalez will throw a volley of a flurry of punches that are dead on. So I don't know. It's even for me.
In the chat, the Fight Scout says accuracy and precision are not the same.
He's right about that. I mean, yes, yes and no. But
okay, I see where he's coming from. He's being extremely literal with
what is it?
Yeah, he's being extremely literal, but I understand what he's saying.
I know what he's talking about. He's talking about being completely precise. So he's given out that we're not precisely pointing out the definition of precision.
God.
He's talking about landing specifically on the target that you're meant to be landing on. So let's say Chocolatito, he wants to land directly on the ear. He'll land directly on the ear. That's where he's coming from.
Okay, so let's make it
simple. In which case, I don't know, because I don't know what Chocolatito or Estrada are thinking to be exact with where they're looking to hit exactly on the button. I don't think that's possible to figure out exact precision.
Well, let me tell you, I know what they're thinking, and I'm pretty sure they're thinking, hey, let me get as close to the target that I want as possible. So let's make it that. Who gets as close to the target as they're aiming for, essentially? Who gets closer to the target? All right? That's what we're going to
I'm just gonna say it's the counter puncher in Estrada because that's what he's aiming for. He's aiming to land the counter while the other guy's aggressive and is just shooting punches. Whether he's accurate, just because he is, I mean, one guy's looking to land that counter, so it's Estrada.
Okay.
Yeah, Estrada.
Okay. Most people are going with Estrada then. Because Bucho, what do you think?
Yeah. Even in the chat, yeah.
Estrada.
Yeah. Even though I disagree, the people have spoken. So we're gonna give
people have spoken.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. The jab, perhaps the most important. Chocolatito. You're saying because it's heavier all around, quicker.
I think it's crisper. I think it's crisper, more damaging. You see, I feel like Estrada uses his jab more to either get range or to just like feint his opponents a little bit. I think Chocolatito uses it as a probe off of all of his work. Most of his work can come from the jab to get inside, to back people up, whereas Estrada, not as much. He doesn't jab as much. He doesn't use it as well. That's why. He just has a better fucking jab.
See, that's what I wanted to hear. That's why, not just, oh, well, it's because the jab is better. Why? Like, it's harder, more precise. He uses it different fashion. That's what I want. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah. All right.
It's subtle. It's subtle. It's like almost like his lead left hook. It's subtle. It's like a 6-inch punch, and it initiates his attack. And before you realize you got hit with it, he's already punching you with other shots.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to say, yeah, it's Gonzalez. Because he's also smaller. He's more nimble. He's going to land it more. And he hit hard still.
So you're saying it's a no... Yeah, go ahead, Recognize.
No, I agree with Gonzalo. He's the better jabber. He uses it more. He could do it from mid-range. He could do it going forward. He's the better jabber. Estrada is more of a counter puncher. He can jab. It's more off the back foot. Yeah. I just take the aggressor. The more aggressive fighter usually has the better jab than, usually, not all the time, usually has the better jab than the counter puncher.
Well, let me tell you this. This is what Viloria said, and I'm paraphrasing here. He said, yeah, Estrada can use it more backing up and all that, but he just feels that overall, it's not just about whether he uses it going backward or forward. He says that Estrada's jab is mostly to set up shots, whereas Gonzalez's jab is really, like you guys are saying, more, yeah.
He also uses it to dictate pace very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not just to hurt.
Yeah, Estrada fights longer. He fights longer, so he uses it as a range finder. Where Chocolatito, he'll ball right up and get in your chest. You know what I mean? He likes in tight, so his jab is meant to be a part of his weapon. It's not just using it for time and space.
He has a great amount of utility with his jab.
That's
all right. So jab goes to Choco.
And by the way, can I say something right off the bat, man? Because I know this expression is starting to gain traction. People are now describing fighters as, oh, he's nice. As in he's good. That's another one of those things that's starting to creep me out. The way people use language, oh, he's nice. And that's the way people say, ooh, yeah, he's nice. I'm thinking, come on, man, can we find another word to describe a guy who's good at what he does, right? Who's an effective puncher, effective boxer.
It's too feminine to be describing a boxer.
Yeah. Look, the only time I heard the term nice is when you're describing somebody's hands. Like, in other words, he knows how to use his fists. He's good at something that I would describe what's his name? Andy Ruiz, right? That I describe him as the guy has nice hands. But other than that, like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's nice.
Exactly.
Sounds like we're watching QVC television when you say that.
Exactly. Yeah, we got a string of pearls. I was like, come on.
It's like when I started hearing people say, "Hey, that's my man's." It's like, man, what the?
Oh, I always say that, man.
That's my man.
That's my man.
Oh,
well,
man.
boxing. Listen,
there's a lot of expressions in boxing that are really gay, like, oh, he's backing him up so well, and oh, he's leaned over, and oh, look at the torque as he pushes through. Come on.
Like, listen, I'm when in the gyms in New York, I remember, and Florida too. When I used to go to these gyms, in the boxing gyms, they would be like, "Yo, keep your eye on your man, your opponent. keep your eye on your man. Your man is doing things, and you're not seeing it. Like that. I know it sounds kind of gay, but that's how they. That's how they
we
would
should
describe
change it up. We should say like when it's little guys, what we should say is like, yo, keep an eye on the midget, and when it's big guys, yo, take a look at that big fat fucker in there. That's how we should do it.
Keep an eye on that fucking midget, all right?
How about
keep an eye on that midget, bro? I'm expecting medium-sized things.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Jesus. Ugh. How about we just say, hey, keep your eye on the target? I mean, this is it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. Anyway, listen. Okay, so Estrada, we said Estrada go with precision, which you guys surprised me on that one. Jab Gonzalez, not surprised. Let's see if you guys can keep on surprising us with those nice predictions. Right hand. Who do you have? Who do you guys think has the better right hand?
It's pretty even. It's pretty even. Because when Estrada throws like a big left hook, he'll follow it up with the deadly right hand. But that's like a right hook. If you're talking about straight right hand, I would have to say Gonzalez.
You know,
I don't want to get too nerdy, but I would have to say that.
I also think the overhand right as well from Choco. So I'll go with Choco as well.
Gonzalez.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the crowd.
Yeah, Butcher goes last because he just wants to see what everybody else
Yeah,
says.
exactly. I'll just fuck it.
Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's a close one. Right? This is not to say that Estrada's right hand is something to sneeze at. It's a good right hand, man. I mean, he can, especially when he lifts that elbow up, it can be a nice long right hand. But I agree with you guys. I think Gonzalez's right hand, he shoots it mid range, short, long. It's a nice right hand. All right, so.
Over the top, off of both different side angles. He's really good with it.
Forgot to ask me my opinion, man. Come on.
Well, I was waiting for you to speak, man. All right, go ahead.
Maybe I have a different opinion. Yeah, I give it a Chocolatito.
Chocolatito. All right, there you go.
Is Recognize still on the line?
Yeah, he is.
Nobody cares how much.
Wait, who's talking right now? Is that Recognize?
Yeah.
All right, you guys calm down.
Yeah.
Yo, you calm down, bro. You came across like a disgruntled feminist.
Oh, jeez, Luis, mine's going at him.
You didn't ask me my opinion.
All right, left hook.
Left hook.
I'm gonna have to say Estrada, right?
Yeah,
I agree. Estrada.
All right.
Really? I'm surprised, man.
Well,
I think he throws it from different places.
Well, listen, he throws it from different places. I'll tell you this: when he throws that left hook upstairs, he doesn't turn it over. Even to the body, sometimes he doesn't really fully turn it over. I just think Gonzalez does more with it. Upstairs, downstairs, he really puts some pop into it. And I think it breaks down his opponents better than Estrada. But listen, I gotta go with what you guys say. So,
bro, we've got 8 categories. We're trying to make this look like a 50-50 fight. Come on.
All right, but listen, I want to hear from Recognize. Otherwise, he's gonna start screaming at us. So, Recognize.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. What was the question again?
Nah, come on.
The left hook I gave, Estrada.
By the way, I'm reading
I get the point Mr. BDA is making. It's
I get the point.
I don't think you do.
He throws it more.
No, I changed my mind.
More beautiful.
He's right. No, he's right. Left hook goes to Roman.
Nah, are you fucking with me?
No, Estrada.
No, I'm actually serious. I changed my mind. I started.
How can
he brings up good? Because Estrada only really throws it when he throws a right hand. He'll follow it up with the left hook.
Mr. BDA is really, he's right.
Yeah, Gonzalez throws it more often. Like he changes the levels up and down.
Well, there you have it.
So,
when Estrada's coming forward, man, that left hook is beautiful, bro.
Now, I'll tell you this.
Hurts.
I'll tell you what, fellas. Just like I hate scoring 10-10 rounds, I hate making it a tie. But we can do that if you guys want.
No, we can't, because with me switching over, it means that Choco won the left hook.
All right, let me hold on. Let me go to the chat and see what people are saying. The Fight Scout says
they're saying Choco.
Well, hold on. Let me see. I'm not saying I don't trust you, but Tito in the house. He says Estrada is like Azuma Nelson's professor. The professor, he's better the second time. Well, we'll see, T-Tone. We'll see. Body work is like nice. Oh, come on. Vince Vegas says Estrada has better every punch, guys. Just saying. Oh, come on. He's better every punch. I mean, all right. This is getting a little ridiculous. All right, listen. So what do we do? Gonzalez?
Give it to Choco. Yeah, whatever.
Give it
All
to
right.
Choco, bro.
Yeah.
All right.
Remove that from Estrada and put it on Choco.
I'm trying to.
Well,
for some
yeah,
reason.
BDA convinced me. He convinced me. He sounded like he knew what he was talking about.
He sounded like my pastor from my Canadian church online.
Oh, come on. Now, see. How do I kick people out of the Discord, the Bucho? I forgot. Because I want to kick Mark out. All right. Uppercut.
Estrada.
That's a harder one. You know why?
Estrada.
Because if you watch the first fight, I don't know when you guys watched. I just watched it right now.
He missed.
Whoever was narrating that kept saying that Chocolatito, and I agree. His lead uppercut with the lead hand was like a short 6-inch punch that was always up on Estrada's face like white on rice. That lead uppercut Estrada got, it's on you all fucking fight. But the trail uppercut, Estrada will step back a little and use it as a big counter uppercut. So it depends what you're talking about. Right uppercut or left uppercut?
That's a good fucking point. But I think,
I'm thinking left uppercut. I don't know why. But yeah, you're right.
I'm going to go with, well, actually, let's hear from everybody else, though. Go ahead, fellas.
Well, if it's the power uppercut, yes, Estrada, because we're
maybe we should have
talking about damage, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what that's. First of all, it's very close. You could say Roman uses it more. You could say Estrada throws it with better precision, better power. But yeah, I'm gonna give it to Francisco.
I'm going with Roman because I'm going with Roman because I've seen him knock people out with both hands with uppercuts.
Yep. And I was going to echo off Mark's fucking. First off, Mark, by the way, great mediation the other night on that fucking show. You got patience of a saint, brother. That kid was insane, but I just wanted to tell you did a great job. But
Jimmy.
Oh, the retard.
Oh, come on.
It was like a train wreck. I normally have a very bad attention span, but I couldn't look away. It was unbelievable.
Hey, can I say something, man? Can I say something real quick? Speaking of looking away, that guy was. I don't want to sound disparaging. I really hate putting people down for their looks, but he had the crazy eyes. The guy who was the
something's not right in those eyes.
Yeah,
they float around a little too much for me. You know what I mean, dude?
No, hold on. I don't think it was that. I think he was anxious because he knew that he was stupid.
Oh, wait!
He was going to look like
you're supposed to. You know what? He wasn't a bad kid. Actually, he wasn't a vicious kid. He wasn't nasty.
No,
I didn't like. He tried to. He kind of tore. I mean, I don't like the way he like. I mean, it's just anyways. I don't want to go down that route, but I'm just saying he wasn't a bad kid. So I think he was just so out of his depth.
I couldn't watch more than 10 minutes because at some point I was like, "You're talking to like." I mean, I don't want to say the word, but somebody that's not all there in the head.
Right.
I can say it. It's Bucho. I'll give you the pass. I'm autistic. You have to pass. You
Perfect.
Can say it. Well, Mark, think about this, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, Bucho. I'm having the echo. Go, brother.
No, that's it.
Oh, I was going to say, but the one thing just drove me nuts, and I was hoping that kid Julius was going to hop on. I'm watching. The kid kept saying he doesn't trust the camera. Doesn't matter. The camera was there or not because the WBC was there, representatives, officials and JDs, and they all have to sign off on the reps. And he said, "Well, the camera." And then and his excuse for not buying the WBC, believing them is. Do you know that several boxers have died in the ring? And no boxers have ever died in a Vegas ring where the opponent's gloves or tampered gloves with a suspected cause. I have never heard of that. In fact, I look back, and the last thing on record is 1983 in Madison Square Garden. So that fucking kid's whole reason for believing, he's basing a lie off another lie. He's saying, well, I don't believe them because, do you know they never found any, and there's been several? I couldn't believe Julius let that fly. I'm like, dude, call him out on that.
Jimmy.
But there was so many. You would have been there all night calling him out.
He let so many things fly. Also, give me the proof. Where Wilder's proof that evidence that his skull was cracked and all that shit. And the other guy, he just says, "Well, the evidence is that Tyson Fury has a history of cheating." Like that's
It was
not evidence.
insane.
Like that's not evidence that he cheated in that fight.
Look,
And then,
Just let us go home.
and then,
What's that?
but
guys,
yeah,
listen.
it was.
If you pull him up on every point, right, you're gonna be there for 6 months.
No, but you
Yeah,
gotta
no, I know you guys did a great job. You guys
Mark,
called them out on it.
You gotta press the. You saying, show me the evidence. Do you have evidence? Yes, no. That's it. Conversation's over. Terminated.
Well, he did do that though. He did tell him.
that's it.
Every time but think about it, every time he says, "Where's your evidence?" He says, "Where's yours?"
No, he would always go back. But is the fight made? And you can tell the kid's been following boxing for like 2 minutes because he doesn't realize a fight of this magnitude. This is not even unusual, unfortunately, for negotiations to drag on. He just doesn't understand it. And then he couldn't grasp. First off, you know what was a surprise to him? Site fees. He had no idea about site. He was shocked. He was fucking shocked when he said, "Well, it's going to be the site fee." And he was like, you could see him doing like, "Oh, wait a minute, site fees? They pay?" You know what I mean? So he didn't even know about site fees.
Hold on, Jimmy. Then he tried to compare it and say, like, it's like influencers on Instagram hoping that like a sugar daddy comes along, and I'm like, that's every single fucking fight, bro. Every single fight. You need them, like in America specifically as well. Which he was saying, why wouldn't it go to America then? Because America doesn't want to pay as much money as Saudi Arabia does.
Yeah, it was. And you know what?
Jimmy, everybody, remember when we right after the Wilder Fury fight, we used to get a lot of phone calls of people saying that there was something weird with the gloves and shit like that. But every time they called in, we would ask them, "Show me the evidence. Show me the evidence." And then they try to divert and go somewhere else and try.
Well, you hate him, bro.
No, and then we would pin them. Show me the proof. Show me clear evidence. We used to repeat that all the time, write it in the title of the videos, and then they stop fucking calling.
Well,
because they won't get away with it. Like, show us evidence. You don't have evidence. That's it. We're not gonna fucking waste our time, man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
here's the other thing. Well, here's the other thing. Some people are gonna keep on believing it. And just as an aside note, after I saw it, the debate, I watched. Well, by the way, people don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about because Ring IQ was debating Artman, I believe is his name. Which people, by the way, people were putting a spin on that name. Very disrespectful. But anyway, they had a debate, and I said, you know what? This is the type of guy, Artman, who I don't think is going to capitulate and say, yeah, he got the best of me. Because I went to his Twitter and I proved that. If you go to this guy's Twitter, he's rambling on since about, what was it, 2 days ago? He's rambling on about how he won. Look at his face when I said this. Look at his face. I'm thinking, oh boy. So there wasn't really, I mean, it was entertaining and everything. I would have done the same thing for entertainment's sakes. But he's the type, Artman's the type of guy that he's just never going to admit.
He's got no humility, dude. He humiliated himself. That was an embarrassment. And when he actually said, listen, show us the glove. Just put it on social media so we can just go home. Okay, hold the fucking phone, you bag of shit. You're telling me. Oh, what's that? Oh, history of lying. Oh my God! So listen, I was calling it character assassination. He could have rambled off so many things about Wilder's character that is so much worse. But anyways, the thing is, okay, so you're telling me that your guy has medical proof that, like, and you did a very good job explaining, both you guys, that it's a hematoma. It was not a subdural hematoma, but it was just a hematoma. It was blood behind the muscle. There's a bunch of pictures out recently. I'm trying to put some together that show the exact same thing. And they go away within 24 hours. If it was a cranial fracture, do you think he would have been treated and released? He would have been hospitalized, flown to Johns Hopkins or somewhere else, had cranial reconstructive surgery. It would have been all over the news. You don't get 2 Nuprin and go home. So the fact that clown says he has evidence, but wait a minute, he's not going to show it because people were mean to him on Twitter. So he's okay, but that's fine. But Fury, and I'm like, does he understand the burden of proof rests on the accuser? You jackass.
He knows. Look, he knows.
Evidence.
He knows.
The guy. This kid was mental.
I suspect he knows. And by the way, he was smoking weed during the whole debate. So I mean, that right there shows you it's not exactly.
Yeah, who does that?
He was smoking it hard. He was smoking it fast.
It wasn't just a little joint, man. This guy was.
You could tell it was cheap fucking Mexican rag. And I'm not trying to shit on Mexican. They just say the fucking brick weed. I smoke a lot of weed, and he was smoking cheap weed because there's no way if he smoked the weed. If he was smoking the weed I have, dude, he'd have been in a coma. He would have just been sitting there drooling, looking at the camera.
2 reasons. Maybe the weed wasn't all that good, and he's nervous because when you smoke weed, you're relaxed, right?
Oh yeah, you start putting his heart rate down.
I'm like, calm down, bro.
I didn't go to his Twitter account. He's really on Twitter
actually putting out shit that he won the debate?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's-
Wow, dude. Okay, he needs his
he's-
medication adjusted.
I'll send you his Twitter later, Jimmy. Yeah.
Yeah, do that, Mark.
Just so, not so you can even respond, just so you can read through the absolute fucking.
I'll have a hard time not responding.
I can use the hard R word, the retardation. I'm
Oh,
allowed to say
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
allowed to
yeah.
say it. I'm allowed to say it.
Well, I mean, come on. No. Anyway, listen. Yeah, it was a good job there, Mark. Everybody go check it out if you want to be entertained. I think it was about 2 hours, so I mean, it's gonna have to. You're gonna have to digest it. I think
It was at 4:30 a.m. for me too.
Jeez, Louis.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on, Mr. BD. We gotta finish this.
Uppercuts. I want to throw my 2 cents in on the uppercuts. Go ahead and get mine in. Chocolatito all day. I think Chocolatito throws some of the best uppercuts around. His body movement, both hands, both is good. He throws equally as well with both hands. I mean, he's made a fucking career of destroying people with uppercuts. So by that's a hard yes for me on him on the uppercuts. That's just me. And also, I think Mark agreed.
Yeah.
I think Reckon I said Estrada and Gonzalo too, right?
Hey, fuck them, man.
Oh.
Yeah. Fuck them, bro. Fuck you, recognize. I won't say it to Gonzalo because he'll find me and shoot me.
Sweet
no, come on, man.
No, they both throw good. They both throw good uppercuts. It's just it caught my attention that the telecasters were saying that Gonzalez, that his lead uppercut was his best punch, and it was always on the opponent's face. And so I thought, man, that's his best punch. It's got to be the lead uppercut. So, but the trail uppercut, I know. I saw another video where Chris Algieri and who's the guy that drew with Broner, the Jesse Vargas were doing a breakdown. And he said that Estrada's best punch is the trail uppercut with the big hand, with the powerful hand, with the right hand. He steps back a little, allows the other guy to collapse the pocket. Basically, he's loading up. He's loading up and he's stepping back. He's loading. He's cocking back the fucking the trigger, right? And he's stepping back, allowing the other guy to come in. Then he explodes.
It's just how you look at it. You're looking at it probably who has the more powerful one, right? And maybe it is Estrada in the way you're describing it. And if he's throwing it like that, I'm not as familiar with him. That would make sense. When I say who's got the better one, I say, for me, I'm looking at it not as so much as who's hitting harder with it. It's who's got the better form. And I just seen him throw 5-6 punch uppercut combinations. You ever remember that back in the day when he was at his prime? He would fucking hit people with 4 or 5 uppercuts in a row. It was nuts. You know, he would double, triple up on the right hand uppercut. It was just get himself in the right position.
Yeah, it was amazing. Beautiful.
He's got to have the best offense in fighting, like him and Manny Pacquiao. It's second to none. That's why all his punches are the best. Gonzalez's offense, everything that he does is probably the best than anybody.
It's so smooth. So smooth and varied.
Well, Bucha, what did you say?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Bucha, what did you say then? Because we gotta get this one done, man. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to the crowd here, fellas. You gotta let us know, man. You gotta work with us. Who has the better uppercut? I'm gonna go ahead and say that I believe both guys used it very well, man. Estrada mixes it up to set up to the punch, to the body, just like Chocolatito does. Obviously, I think Chocolatito has a power advantage, but just because he has a more powerful uppercut doesn't mean he's got the better uppercut. So, man, I'm going to go with Chocolatito, man. Mr. E says Choco. Jack Napier says draw. Bingo says Choco. Mad Dog says Gallo. Grievous says...
I got Estrada, man.
You got Estrada, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Choco.
Jack Napier says, if I had to pick Estrada... Well, he's okay if he had to pick. Okay, Chocolatito has a great uppercut. He knocked out elite fighters like Veloria. I'm going to go with Choco, man. The people have spoken. Let's go with Chocolatito. Let's go to bodywork. Bodywork. Who's the better bodyworker? The better body puncher. Come on.
They're both consummate.
Choco, just by a little bit.
They're both amazing at bodywork. I have to say.
Yeah, I would edge again just to Chocolatito because I hold him in that kind of regard. I think that, and again, I'm not going on so much now, but overall, if we're looking at their career,
in his prime, he was nasty to the body. He'd mix it up to the body, to the head, body, head.
It's so smooth. It's so smooth. Sorry, it's so smooth, and it really, he can really dig into the body. Chocolatito can. It's so smooth and fast. Before you realize that you got stabbed to the body, it's a piercing body shot. I would have to say Gonzalez.
I think Chocolatito has the better body work. I just think he hurts people more. He uses it much more. Like Estrada doesn't do it a whole lot. Like Chocolatito uses a lot of body work to slow his opponents down late in fights to take him out as well. So I gotta go with Chocolatito because he can break you down and stop you to the body more than Estrada can.
I will agree. I will agree with you, fellas. I think Chocolatito has the better foot. Again, both guys do everything we're talking about here. They both do it very well. They're not. Neither of these things are their weak points. But we gotta pick somebody.
Do you know what's interesting though when we look at the graph? It's going to be interesting looking at the graph and then looking at the predictions. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, because it might be disjointed. It might not.
I think you guys are a little bit biased.
Well, we'll see, man, when we make our picks, our final picks. By the way, corner. I'm gonna tell you, man. I don't really know much about.
Yeah,
Egypt.
me either. I want to take whoever.
Estrada has
Alfredo Caballero.
He has Caballero. Is Roman still with Hernandez after his trainer passed away? I think he's still with Hernandez, right? I've got to go with the corner work on that case. If he's still with Hernandez, it has to go to Caballero. Caballero is one of the best cornermen on the planet.
It's a weird one because I think Gonzalez is with the guy, and I looked it up on the YouTube. I couldn't quite figure it out. Gonzalez is Marcos Caballero, and Estrada's Alfredo Caballero.
Alfredo Caballero.
Those caballeros.
Both of the trainers are like Los Caballeros. Yes.
So he's left Hernandez and he's gone with the other Caballero. Okay, Alfredo Caballero is one of the best cornermen on the planet, one of the most underrated trainers in the world.
Well, listen. On the one hand, Estrada has been with the same guy for a while, but that doesn't mean he's better. It just means they work together well. So again, so listen, I'm gonna defer here to Mark and to Gonzalo. They seem to know what they're talking about. I'm gonna go with
Estrada's trainer.
Oh, you said with Estrada's trainer? Okay.
Yeah, Estrada's trainer.
Well, who else does he train? Who else does he train? I don't even know.
Miguel Berchelt. He's helped out with Emmanuel Navarrete. He was training
Valdez before.
Valdez before he was training Lara before he went over to the Warrington fight. He didn't travel over to England, but he was training Lara.
No kidding. So he sounds like one of those. Because I always assumed he was just.
He's a very unsung trainer. I compare him a lot to Nacho Bernstein.
I think Bogia was with them as well.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is, man. When he's
De La Hoya, BDA. Oscar De La Hoya trained with him for many years, I believe.
Wait a minute, is this the old guy? Wait. Is this the old guy that used to read philosophy and play classical music for his fighters? No, that can be. No, that's not the.
No, I don't think so. But
it's definitely not him. But yeah,
no, not
this.
Okay.
Play the flute. He's to play the flute.
Estrada's got the better trainer. He's got the better trainer. If this was Roman's original trainer who didn't pass away, it'd be Roman all day. But it's got to be Estrada's trainer.
Well, that's the thing, though.
For now, his new guy isn't as he's not as experienced. It's like when you start saying like Ben Davison versus like McGuigan or whatever. You got to go with McGuigan.
Well, I'll tell you why I think this guy's good from what you're telling me is because a lot of the guys he's training, they're not exactly the most physically talented in terms of explosiveness, agility, and all that. And still, he's taking them very, very far with that style, rough, rugged style. So, man, that's a good trainer right there, man. Let's go to cuts. Who has? But by the way, I didn't. Butcher, when we say cuts, are we talking about who has the better cut, man, or who has more resistance to cuts? Because I don't remember this category, so I don't know what we're talking about. By the way, Butcher told me he went to take a piss, but so I assume he hasn't come back. So what do you fellas think? Let's go with who cuts the least, right? Who cuts less?
Yeah, because I don't know who the cut man is.
I think Estrada got cut in the first fight. He got cut in two places in the first fight against Gonzalez.
I've seen Estrada cut, I think, 7 times in his career, and I've seen Roman cut once.
Yeah, I think I've seen him only once. I've seen him bruised up a couple of times, but not.
Bruised up, swollen.
But
Busted nose. But I've seen Estrada get cut. I think.
Yeah.
I think he can be cut quite a few times.
All right, let's go with anybody else. Jimmy, Bucho. I don't know if you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
On what the corner?
No cuts.
Oh yeah, because in the corner, I don't know the guy's good enough to put an educated guess. You know what I mean? So that's why I stayed silent on that. Cuts meaning like who bleeds more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's a bleeder?
Cuts more. Well, Chocolatito doesn't really have a history. I don't think. I could be fucking just really stoned.
I think
but
one
don't think I
time.
remember him. Yeah, him opening up much. Estrada has the kind of Chocolatito has the box's face. You see his nose? See how it's kind of a fucking flat nose, and the lower, like everything's flat. Like
That
on
matters.
Estrada, yes,
That
exactly. Estrada's got a higher cheekbones and in a more pronounced fucking eyebrows.
Yeah.
So in a headbutt, those will tend to gash open more because there's more point to them.
Yep.
So that's an astute
So I mean,
observation.
this is all just complete, conjecture. But
it's an astute observation. Yeah, I think he does have that more budgy.
Another thing to note is that Estrada does actually have more scar tissue on his face than Chocolatito does. I mean, that's painfully obvious. So that tells you there.
You know what makes these lower class weights? You know what makes these lower class weights so good? Is that look, these guys got losses and they still on top of their game. Well, maybe Estrada a little bit more, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I'll tell you what makes lower weight fighters really good, right? Are you ready? Between them, they have 95 fights right now. 95, right? And they've been in hundreds. I don't remember a fight where there's been a couple, but Chocolatito's been in war after war after war after war after war for a decade. Estrada kind of the same thing, man. They've been in wars for a decade. They have nearly 100 fights between them. They're fighting each other in a unification. And then you have young little guys like Ancajas too afraid to even step into a ring against some dude who he'd easily beat. That's what makes these dudes good. And you have Caleb Plant talking about all sorts of things like, oh yeah, Mike Lee was a good opponent. Oh, suck a dick, you fucking cunt.
oh man, dude, I'm with you, Mark. That kid drives me batshit. Like, dude, you backdoored yourself into the easiest perceived title, and then you sat back. You haven't done anything with it except for call out Canelo. Listen, when somebody does that, there's a reason. I've been saying it all along. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I'm telling you, that kid's chinny, and we're gonna see him get fucking stretched. I believe it in my heart. I just think he doesn't want to fight anybody who hits, and that's the reason why if he does fight somebody does, he's looking for the biggest possible payday.
That's why you don't want to fight Benavidez. That's an easy fight to make.
Of course, but there's no money in the Benavidez fight. A, he doesn't have a belt. B, his name isn't like I mean, you're talking about from $250,000 payday to fucking $5 million, $7 million if he fights Canelo. And if he fights Canelo and gets stretched, he doesn't give a shit. That's fucking retirement money. So
wait. What are we talking
about?
Right
Now, anybody like this can look at all the PBC fighters. They're even doing the same thing with
please.
Giovanni Davis. I know, but they're doing it all with all of them.
I don't know what happened. I had to go take a leak, but yeah, let's finish this list, man, because we're 2 hours in.
I thought we were done.
Chocolatito.
You drinking? What are you doing?
Chocolatito doesn't get cut as much BDA as where we went to. So Chocolatito.
Chocolatito.
You'd give Chocolatito wins that one.
Okay, and yes, I am drinking black tea and what do you call it? Club soda. So I'm going to.
It's making you go to the bathroom a lot. How you doing?
Well, listen, when you're 61 years young,
I'm a little edgy too, just a little bit.
Yeah, you're a little edgy today.
Now wait a minute. You motherfucker!
I agree with you, Jimmy.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
He's doing lines in the bathroom there.
All right, so that was it. I mean, Gonzalez took a lot of categories on this one. Now let's go to page 2.
Make it like the Olympics. Make it like the Olympics.
Oh, I can't. Yeah. Hold on. Let me do anal beats with this one. Hold on. All right. Let's go to page number 2 because we're not done. Oh no, we're just getting started.
Oh, what the?
Now we're getting somewhere.
The fuck
now
was that, man?
Holy shit!
Mark wanted to talk about Clarissa Shields some more.
Go cry about
Hey,
it.
Estrada looks like Mickey Mouse with those two things.
Oh yeah, I can try to do that.
What are you gonna melt, Snowflake?
Like Minnie Mouse, bro.
Shut up, your
Miguel
opinion doesn't
Mouse
matter.
because he's Mexican.
Calm down now.
All right, listen. We're getting
All right.
we're having too much fun here.
Pete.
It's supposed to be a serious show. Okay.
Estrada.
My ass is so fat, even black.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Hold on. What is that?
Whoa. What was that about? Whoa.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? All right.
Calm
All
down, Karen.
Meanwhile,
Calm down,
let's make Estrada look like Mickey Mouser, like Bucho said. All right. Hand speed. Who has
Estrada.
yeah.
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
What?
He's good. He's more fluid.
I don't know.
He's more fluid. He'll throw 6-7 punches. I think PDA said that, and he's lighter, so he's gonna be a little bit more nimble. He's gonna throw faster combinations.
It's close, man. It's close, but slightly, yeah.
I think he throws more combinations, but I think when Estrada lets his hands go, he does actually have faster hands than Roman right now.
All right.
Roman's
Okay, let me
hand
put it
speed
this
isn't
way.
what it
Let me
was.
put it this way. If they're at the same distance, relative distance, because they both have different reach from what if I remember correctly, and they're placed in front of a machine, all things considered equal, whose punch gets to the target first? Or fast?
Gonzalez. The reaction time, Gonzalez. He throws a 6-inch uppercut, and it's just really fast.
Wait a second. Why is Chocolatito looks like a shooting victim? That's when he got shot.
And Estrada looks like Mickey Mouse.
Mr. BDA, line them up.
He's got Mickey Mouse.
line Chocolatito's dots over like his nipples and his stomach, and then give him like a belly button piercing. So like he has the Olympics with a belly button piercing.
All right,
That's what you need to do.
And by the way, I think
creative, Mark.
the blog talk, people are saying it's not working. I think I know why. So let me just, while we're talking here, or were you guys, there you go. Is that what you wanted, Mark? Is that what you like?
Yeah, right there. That's perfect.
He looks like
Now
the governor of New York. What's his name? The guy who's got nipple piercings?
Homo.
Homo.
No. Put one in the middle of his chest between the two.
So the reason Estrada was getting pushed back against the rope,
like a guy who got shot.
the reason Estrada.
Put the other two just above, so we get the Olympics.
There
or
we go.
below, whichever.
That's the superhero version of.
He's got 3 nipples. Or make him like the Iron Man, one in the chest.
All right,
this goes on Spotify. People are gonna be like, "What the hell are these guys talking about?"
I'm glad this hasn't devolved into something weird.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would have to give the speed to Gonzalez. This is why the reason Estrada was getting pushed back against the rope in the first fight, because Gonzalez is so quick to get off his combinations that Estrada needed time to be able to react and throw his counters. But by the time he did that, he got pushed back and got outlanded by Gonzalez. Now with Cuadras jumped on him. Same thing. Estrada's reaction time, in order to get his offense down, he needed to settle in, and he couldn't do that because Cuadras jumped on him. So we're talking about who's quicker to the target. I think Gonzalez can overwhelm Estrada if he decides to get on his chest. Therefore, he lands the quicker shots, and it's to his advantage.
Well, listen. Let's see what the people say, because I think Estrada's got the quicker hands. That looks satanic, says one hitter. Steven Schneider says, LOL Jimmy. John T. Harrison, weird ass name, says, King Bucho, get your own soundboard then. All right, people aren't really being helpful there in the chat room.
One more thing, BDA. One more thing. It's like Burchell. Burchell was bigger than Valdez. Now, Estrada's going to be bigger than Gonzalez. Estrada's more of like, he hits harder, I think, now. So he cocks up on his shots just a little bit longer. So by the time he releases the punch, Gonzalez is going to be right on his face with punches. More fluid, like tattooing you with shots. So that's why I think he gets quicker to the target. And remember also, Estrada he pushes back to get spacing, like I said, like Jesse Marcus was alluding to be able to cock that hammer and throw that big counter. So by the time he steps back, Gonzalez can hit him with the right hand, pressure him, and that's when he can get hit. Because Gonzalez keeps his head kind of tilted high where he can get caught.
Well, listen, I'm going to make...
We have a draw. I think this one's really a draw, man.
You think, man? I don't want to beat Teddy Atlas.
I would say so.
All right.
If one of these ones is a draw, it has to be maybe this one.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you got a bigger guy fighting a little guy, who's the faster guy? The little guy or the
The
bigger
little,
guy?
nah, not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Not all the time, but sometimes it's the other way around. But in this case, I think I'm going by not just hand speed. It's just the way fucking Gonzalez moves. Everything about him, man. He moves his whole body, his hands, everything is faster than Estrada.
Man, I disagree.
So
I
who
think
are we giving
Estrada's the.
speed to?
Well, Bucho said.
I think Estrada's faster. I think he's faster.
I think so too, man.
Who's
but-
faster? Who?
Estrada. I think Estrada.
Oh yeah. That's what I said. I think Estrada should get it, but I mean,
Let's give it to Estrada because
so
I
far,
agree.
me and Gonzalo got Chocolatito as the faster guy. You three got it the other way around. What does Jimmy think?
I think Jimmy said Gonzalo. Jimmy, am I wrong or
Yes, Gonzalo.
Gonzalez. Yep.
Gonzalez, yes.
Gonzalo too. But yeah.
Yeah. 3-3.
So it's a tie. It's a tie, bro.
No, actually, not quite. Let's go to the chat room. OG Boogie, shout out to G Boogie, says Estrada is faster than Chocolatito. You guys picked Choco in every category, says Vince Vegas. Just saying. No, we didn't pick him in every category. Chris Gonzalez says
people are saying hand speed or timing.
It's 6-2. Calm down.
So if he's faster, how come he was getting pushed back against the ropes? If he's faster, you would be able to hold him in the middle of the ring, right?
Because he's a retard.
Punches, he's not
retard.
Okay.
No, the timing maybe Gonzalo. I mean, I don't know. There's times when Estrada goes
The thing
back
about
and
that is-
he's open for a reason. I don't know why, man.
It's because he's not a volume puncher like that. Like he's not going to just stand in the ring all the time and just start teeing off using his hand speed advantage. He likes to pick his shots more. Roman's the one who does more volume, so it looks like he's quicker because he throws more combinations. But whenever Estrada does let his hands go, and even when they were exchanging, when Roman would land 3, Estrada would throw 4 in the time he would throw 3 back then. Roman's only gotten slower. He's actually gotten a little bit quicker as he's filled out in weight. So Estrada is the quicker one, man.
Those are great points, man. Those are great points.
Well, it's close. I mean, but we gotta choose a winner. So
yeah. Power. Well, I think this one. Power.
Oh shit! Wait,
Estrada.
At this point, Estrada has to take it. I guess. I mean, this isn't the 2012 fight.
Yeah, at this point, it's Estrada.
Would it be fair to say?
I don't agree with all the fucking check boxes going the other way around. Obviously, I picked Gonzalez to win some of those categories, but yeah, and this one, I got Estrada.
Would it be fair to say? Well, hold on, real quick. Would it be fair to say let's qualify the power? Estrada seems to have more snap right now, but I think Gonzalez's punches, although they do have snap, there seem to be a little bit more thudding sometimes.
Thudding, that's the word. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, you saw the Kalia fight, right?
Yeah.
That dude. I just look at that fight as the way you look at a street fight. The big homie wants to, the upcoming little homie wants to fight the big homie, and he just finds out, I'm not ready for that yet. That's the way I see that. So he just got schooled, and then obviously he got stopped. But I don't think it was power. It was just like pure power that was doing it. It was just schooling the shit out of him, and then he was hitting him with some good shots, and he took him out. But still, I would give Estrada. Yeah.
All right, that's a good. Yeah.
Is that low place?
Hey, speaking of, there was your old friend 100% X was in the chat room earlier. He keeps calling me Roman Gonzalez. He keeps calling him Chocolatito, like 2 words. Tito the name and then chocolate beforehand. So I don't know what he's on about, man. I mean, the more I try to figure him out, the less I understand from 100% X.
I think he thinks Roman Gonzalez is a black man. Yeah.
I think right now.
Yeah.
I think right now Estrada's a bit more powerful than Chocolatito as it stands right now.
Yeah. All right, let's give it to Estrada.
Well, Gonzalo.
Although
Gonzalo said
power. Gonzalo said, I think both men can hit the canvas. Will hit the canvas actually.
We didn't hear from Jimmy though. Jimmy.
Yes, I would give it to Gonzalo.
Gonzalez.
I know.
No, let's give it to Gonzalo, man. Let's give it to Gonzalo.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, Gonzalo's name. Well, that name, you know, that name is actually what it means. It's the father of the Gonzales, Gonzalo. So you had one Gonzalo, then all his children became the Gonzales back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
man, shut the
look
fuck
it up on the
up.
Google.
Nah, man,
Hey,
I just noticed fucking couple of look it up individuals are real quick to fucking correct me though. What's
hey,
up?
Yeah.
don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't
Well,
do
you
that.
You gotta keep it professional, Jimmy.
Yeah, we gotta keep it professional, Jimmy.
Oh.
Come on.
Ring IQ.
What?
Hmm.
Okay, yes.
I like
Listen,
his channel.
No.
Yeah, I
this
like his
one,
channel. It's good.
this one, it's okay.
Oh, you talking about Ring IQ? The I
Yeah,
thought
that's
you
me.
said- I thought you
Okay.
asked me what I thought about Ring IQ. I was gonna say I like his channel.
It's a separate-
I'll be right back. I'll be listening, but I'll be right back. Okay.
What's the matter with you? All right.
Ring
Listen.
I have to have a shit. That's what's the matter with me.
Ah, jeez.
Oh, God.
This is an interesting one because and as you can see, all of these
Ring
are close.
IQ. Yeah, that's a tough one.
I think Gonzalez still has it.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
So they're pound for pounders right there in the top 10 pound. Both of these guys, that's a hard one. They're maxed out.
All right, hey, Mark, mute your mic, please, man.
Hey,
Come on,
Mark.
Jesus,
Mark, mute your mic.
Holy
mic,
shit.
please,
Is
man.
that for
Yo, do you want me to actually take a shit here, right? Do you want me to do it? Because I'm about to sit on the toilet. I'll shit live on stream if you want.
Come on, Mark. Stop. fooling around.
Mark,
Come on.
mute that shit, man.
He'll actually do it.
You're gonna go take a dump?
All right,
Shame
listen.
on Mark.
People are getting too comfortable on this stream. That's the problem.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to it. Who has the better ring IQ? Who has the better boxing brain?
Yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, man, Gonzalez.
I'm gonna agree.
He was the number one pound for pound boxer for some time.
Yeah.
Well, he could have been.
Yeah, and that's what he Estrada recently got bamboozled in the first rounds by Cuadra. So in the first few rounds, he doesn't have the IQ down. He needs to settle in to get that down, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people think because
that's
Gonzalez
also part of ring IQ, right? It's like don't show everything right away.
That's true. Yep. Man, this boxing shit is fucking crazy. I'm confused.
I love boxing. Right? It makes you think, right? We're assuming what they're thinking, which is what we're doing, right? We're like, I wonder if he just plays possum in like the first 2 rounds, and then he really shows what he's got.
Exactly. Because here's the other thing is people assume, oh well, because Gonzalez fights the same way coming forward all the time, that means he's not. Versatility doesn't mean you're smarter, man. So Gonzalez, the way he goes about cutting off the ring, setting the pace, setting traps, I'm gonna give it to Gonzalez, man. Jimmy, and who else hasn't gone?
Yeah, somebody in the chat says Kenneth Lopez says I want to say Estrada, but sometimes he goes wild. But so does Gonzalez, so it's tough. Yeah, who goes wild the most? It would have to be Estrada.
Just a little bit.
Let's give it to Choco.
But when Estrada goes wild, he's still effective, right?
That's
true.
true. Yeah.
Sometimes, actually.
There might be a method to
for the most part.
Yeah.
Give it to Chocolatito, man.
All right. There we go.
Chocolatito.
Now, jeez, Mark, come on, man. Oh, I'm gonna mute him.
Mark.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute him.
Mark. Jesus Christ.
All right, that's enough. All right, experience.
So
this is a close one too.
Experience. Oh shit!
Damn,
I guess it's the same. I mean, at this point,
same, but no. Wait. Slight experience. Does it even matter at this point? That's the thing, right? Because what's the difference between what's the difference between a 15-year veteran versus a 12-year veteran?
Exactly. It's like they're both veterans.
And if one slightly past his prime while the other's still in his prime, that also why does it really matter?
It evens out. Yeah, it starts
Yeah.
to even out. But you know what?
I mean,
I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt and slight edge to Gonzalez.
Yeah, you can't say that one guy has more experience over the other in some sort of advantage at this point. Yeah, no, there's no advantage in terms of experience for each boxer. It's the same. We gotta put this is a draw.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go Gonzalez.
I'm gonna go Gonzalez, man.
Yeah.
Experience in what big fights and stuff like that.
Sure,
Also,
yeah, I think
come on.
Gonzalez
Yeah.
gets it. Look, he's been in there twice with Someone V-side, just like Estrada.
So
He was
so
also
has
in-
fucking Estrada.
But hold on, though, Bucho. Remember, Gonzalez has fought in Japan. He got his first title in Japan, I believe. He fought Yaigashi or whatever his name was in.
For every Akira Yagashi name, though, I could name a Giovanni Segura on Estrada's resume. These two are as experienced as each other. There's only 7 fights between them. There's nearly 100 fights between the two of them.
That's insane, man.
What's the record? What's the record again, Mark? On both guys?
50-2 and 45-3.
Damn.
How about experience
guy,
fighting
though.
at this weight class? How many times have they fought in this weight class?
Oh, that's another point.
Chocolatito has more fights, no? In this weight class.
When they fought the first time, wasn't it like 108, 9
That was
pounds?
at 108. That was at 108.
Yeah.
Estrada was
So that was a-
predominantly at 112 before that. So as far as this weight class goes, hold on, I'll bring up the box record and look.
How about this?
Don't know the number.
Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez fought in the Mecca of boxing, New York. All right. Did
I
Estrada
saw
fight
that
in New
fight,
York?
man, and that was I was there live, and I thought that was the most brilliant performance I've ever seen.
And by the way, sorry, it's 41-3 and 50-2. As far as at 115, Chocolatito has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be his 8th fight at 115.
Yeah.
And Estrada has.
And he's had 8 fights at 115.
At 115, Estrada has, because we're not going to include the early fights in his career. This is just the world level stuff. So,
I didn't even think he had that many fights at 115.
5, 6, 7, 8. This will be his 9th. So it's one fight between them in this weight division as well. They're dead even, man. They're dead even. Come on.
I just don't like the fact that in the first page, so many boxes went to Estrada. So I'm going to say Gonzalez.
No, you can't do that, man. Come on.
Come on, I can do whatever I want, man. Come on.
He's got, first of all, he's been boxing for 3 years longer than Estrada. So I got him. I'm gonna say experience to Gonzalez.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Estrada because okay. Well, there you go. Well, who? Okay, so what else? Can we give it to Gonzalez by a smidge?
Smidgets.
Yeah, I would.
These guys
Yeah.
are smidgets apart. Smidgets.
All right, just give it. Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, I feel like these last 2 categories are given to Gonzalez out of respect.
Yeah.
That's
I'm not
what I
liking
saw
this.
there.
I'm not liking the smidge, though. I prefer a pinch, but all right, I'm just talking out of school.
All right.
Little pinch.
Roman Gonzalez was a world champion 1 month after Estrada debuted. So when Estrada only had 1 fight, Roman Gonzalez was already a world champion.
There you go.
There you go.
That's all you need to know about the what's it called? The restrained nature, the difficult nature of this program.
Yeah, but is the Fury fight set?
Okay, come on. That's a great point, man. Can't argue against that. Hey, Jimmy, are you drawing while you're doing this? All right, listen.
Yes, I am. I'm drawing right now.
I'm drawing something on my dick. All right,
But
makes no sense.
technically, that kid was right. Technically, he's right. Until the fight is signed, it's a fantasy fight, but it's like so.
Oh, come on. Yeah, I mean, yeah. All right.
That's not an argument for anything, man. Come on.
Foot
That has
movement.
nothing to do with the Wilder fight. Anyways, let's move on.
Foot movement. Estrada.
Come on.
Yeah.
Estrada.
Gonzalo, you got any
Estrada,
objections?
Yeah, no, this is Estrada.
I thought he said, yeah, no, I have. Okay, good. Thank you,
But you know what? It takes footwork to move forward. I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Fucking-
I just feel Estrada can move in more ways than Choco can. That's
Okay.
all.
By the way, I'm gonna take away
Chin.
the glasses because I don't want to leave one. Then it looks like Illuminati shit, and people are gonna come down on us. So, all right.
Can you give him the Iron Man, the Tony, the Stark in the center?
What is it?
It's
Just
better
the
than what
center.
you had before. He looked like a homicide victim before.
Like the center, the Iron Man thing, where he
Is
gets
that
his power
is
from.
is that what it is? Do you like it now?
Yeah.
All right, fine. That's it. Chin, who's got
You know,
the
it
better
just, you
chin?
know what?
Hmm?
This reminds me of right now. This thing where you're moving those bright things around. I just had a flashback. This is before you guys. I don't know, remember Light Bright, This fucking.
Yeah, I remember.
I actually had
Oh,
one of
yeah,
those.
This
Fuck
one,
computers. Yeah.
this one we can argue on, right? The chin, because this is people will assume because Chocolatito's just been knocked out, right? That he doesn't have a great chin, and Estrada wasn't knocked out by the same guy. But I think Estrada has better defense. I think he's got better defense, and that's the thing. And he's got, like I say, foot movement to get away. Rungvisai isn't brilliant at cutting off the ring, and if you walk straight towards that dude, that you're just asking for trouble. That's like walking onto Golovkin. Just don't do stupid shit.
I wish there was one guy who would try to do that.
I've seen
Has
this.
Estrada been stopped?
No, he's not been stopped, but he's been dropped by multiple people.
Yeah, he has been.
And Choco's only ever been hurt by Rungvisai. So
With those
this is the
those calf implants.
this is the argument, man. I think they both have equal chins. I think they're both pretty solid with tremendous amount of heart.
In this weight division.
In this weight division.
Because I mean,
Those are
what's the
nice
point
chins.
Because I mean, what's the point of talking about chin at 108? You know, I mean, like, it's important to talk about. It's a different game now, man.
108. Think about that. Usually, I'm talking about fucking a person who weighs 108 pounds. If I'm talking about the chin, it's because I want to bounce my balls off it. That's woman's weight. Actually, my girl got fucking 15 pounds in them bucks.
Well, Quadras did get dropped in his last fight, and Choco hasn't been dropped since Rungvisai.
Yeah, Rungvisai was a
but wait, did Rungvisai drop Estrada?
Yeah, but I think he threw that fight.
You think he threw what?
Who threw that fight?
Oh, Chocolatito. I think that was a dive.
Oh,
nice.
You're joking.
I'm just fucking being an asshole.
Who put this
He got
thing together?
All right.
True.
Okay,
No.
but no, seriously, 115.
I think the chins are pretty equal. Even in that division, the only dude who's hurt him is Rungvisai. Honest to God. And Quadras was able to hurt Estrada, but he didn't actually drop or hurt Choco.
Yeah, he just bruised him up a little bit. But
Yeah, I have no decision on that. That's
Like if you walk, if you push forward the way Choco does onto Rungvisai, you're asking to get Marquez Pacquiao. You're asking for it.
Oh, wait a minute, BJ, you don't have enough little green dots to do one in each box, huh?
I do actually.
Oh, you do? I'd throw one in each box, dude. That's an undecided. That's, you know what I mean?
Listen,
That's
I'm
like
going
a
to make an
10-10
executive.
round, right?
I'm going to make an executive decision. We got to give it to somebody. We're not going to be Teddy Atlas around here and give 10.
All right, motherfucker. Do it up. Throw it in there.
I'm going to give it to Gonzalez.
What's a good chin? Because you can get staggered, but if you recover, then you have an okay chin. If somebody gets fucking stopped.
I think it's a draw, man. This is the one I really think is a draw, and a few of us are saying draw.
Yeah.
You want to know what a good chin is? You want to know what a good chin is?
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds
but
to show
keeps
you.
the light on.
Whoa, jeez, Luis. Now, see, that was fuck.
Well, look, if we all think it's a draw, and BDA thinks it's Gonzalez, then Gonzalez wins.
Nah, let's do a draw. Let's do a draw. Let's do a draw. Let's do a draw.
Boss, man.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I even tried to give an opinion.
HINC, baby.
No. Hold on. Bucho's 50. He's the other owner of this channel, so he says draw. Let's go with draw then.
Yeah, fuck it, man.
All right, stamina.
Okay,
Stamina then.
Oh,
Chocolatito.
Fucking
No, wait. I'm
Chocolatito.
I think Chocolatito fades off in the later rounds more now. He used to be like we're talking about 105, 108, 112. He could go 12 rounds all day. In the last 3 rounds of like the Israel Gonzalez fight, his volume dropped. He did look a little bit tired and he was getting caught a lot more clean. Estrada got stronger in that Quadras fight and he knocked him out late. Like he was showing the ability to be able to knock out late on. That shows impressive stamina too, no?
Yeah, especially since Gonzalez got to work harder because he is a volume puncher and he is a smaller guy. He's going to labor more to get the victory, while the other guy can just remain calmer, pace himself better, and utilize his stamina wiser.
And I'm going by all, like, again, it's just, I'm looking at it as the totality of him And at one point, nobody was a better conditioned athlete. I mean, boxer, that too just was like fucking wound him up and he went. But then again, who knows if there was blood doping going on. I mean, I honestly used to say, without no proven knowledge, nor to be saying anything, just because it was just so shocking to see how, you would just keep coming. And that's just usually unheard of without a little help. But as for the bloat earlier, too, you guys talked about bloat. I was listening. I didn't have the right headphones. That's age. That's all that is. Age, the fucking skin thickens. Your body produces more water as you get older. And it depends if the picture was taken right now. Say if you've been in the sun a lot, like in one day, like for 48 hours, you'll look bloated because sunburn or any kind of change will bring water to the top of your skin. There's a lot of factors why you ate. If you ate a lot of salty foods, it could just, depend on picture, but most likely it's attributed to age.
There you go, man. That's okay. That's interesting, man. Listen, by the way, thanks to Jaguar for his contribution. He just put a smiley face there. Shout out to Jaguar. Stamina. Okay, let's go with Estrada then.
Yeah.
And I do think that Gonzalez has slowed down a little bit in that department. Mental strength, mental fortitude, cojones, maybe you could say.
Pretty even.
I didn't like Estrada in that second in the first rugby fight. It's like he ran out of ideas or something.
Who's been hurt more and come back to win in their career? You would say, Mark, you got that fucking, all that fucking stats.
I think Estrada's just been hurt a little bit more in his career than Choco has, so he may have had to come back more. But when I look at the mental strength, I also think coming back from a knockout defeat to Rungvisai
That's huge.
and build back and become a world champion again, and then straight away you want to fight this fucking dude. That's crazy. That dude's nuts.
That's mental strength. That's
mental strength. To come back at that age after that amount of fights and still want to be the best. That's mental strength.
All right, Mark, whip that fucking mic off the ground. Let's piss on the fire and call the dogs. That's a wrap.
What? Fucking old expression from the 70s. You know what? I agree with everything Mark said.
Yeah,
and also,
you know what? Yeah, go ahead.
Also add to this.
But does he get extra credit?
Oh, hold on, Gonzalez.
Go ahead, Video.
I call him Gonzalez. Don't forget Gonzalez. Miguel Gonzalez also has can't believe
Miguel?
Roman.
I never heard of Miguel, but I've
It's
heard of
Gonzalez.
Roman Gonzalez went.
Ramon Gonzalo.
No, not Ramon.
Miguel Angel Gonzalez. Miguel Angel Gonzalez.
Yeah.
BDA Gonzalez.
The guy that broke De La Hoya's cheekbone.
Oh, he did. Good for him. Listen, Gonzalez he's been fighting guys that you've never heard of and that he probably never heard of before. It takes a wherewithal to say, fuck, I got to train hard for this guy because I don't know who he is. He didn't know who Estrada was going in there, and he had to put up with a hell of a fight. He went to war with Quadras, Sorong Visay. I mean, the fact that he's willing to grind it against some of these guys, to turn it on, and he's done this a whole bunch of times. Even the Arroyo fight, it wasn't that easy, man. Arroyo was a strong dude who was trying to push him back a little bit. Took everything in.
Arroyo's a good fighter.
Yeah. That's not to say Estrada doesn't have mental strength, but I'm just saying, I think, and like Mark said, that icing on the cake is he's come back from a knockout victory. Again, we're not talking about his chin here. We're talking about what he's shown, and so far he's shown us more, just a little bit more, when it comes to mental strength.
Little bit.
So can we all agree?
Yeah.
Not
necessarily because.
All right, we don't care about you.
Jesus Christ.
I was just gonna say something. It's okay if you don't get it, but you could say that kind of like Estrada's like the A side right now because he is in a division that he belongs. He belongs more than Gonzalez. So coming into this fight, he's a little bit more confident because he knew that he could deal with them back in the day, 9 years ago. Now he's understanding this guy's been knocked out. I'm the bigger guy. If I did well then, I can do better now. So stepping into the ring mentally is strong. I think that Estrada feels a little bit more confident. But then
I
again,
get
that's
you.
just my point of view.
I get
No,
you.
that
on
was
the
a good
confidence.
point.
I get you
That
on
was
the
a good point.
but doesn't it also take as much or maybe even more mental strength to know that you're not the same dude you were all those years ago, and you're facing a dude who is in his prime, and you're coming off of a knockout loss to become a 3-decade world champion to then fight the A side, considering he's the best in the whole division according
Take it
to
easy,
everybody
Mark.
else
Take
right
it easy,
now.
man. Take it easy.
Mark, how many people? It's true because how many people were saying that Chocolatito should retire after getting destroyed by Rungvisai?
Yeah.
Everybody.
I did.
Everybody.
Yeah,
I
that's
did.
Everybody.
And it wasn't because of the lack of his abilities or disrespect. I was saying it because I like the kid. You know, because I have mad respect for his mentor. Was my favorite fighter.
That sounds all well and dandy. I mean, you stack it up like that, it looks really, really like honorable that a man would do that. But do you get the extra credit points for just being a little bit older and having to go through all that when you're stepping in versus a prime fighter that's not gonna consider all that you did? He's stepping on that night, the stronger, fresher guy, I think.
Mark, you know what I thought happened? Mark, you know what I thought happened when he got knocked out by Rungvisai? And I did a video about this too. I just thought he hit a wall, bro. But I always had a good feeling that he could just come back from that. I wasn't too sure. No. Listen. You could go back. You go check my video.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I swear to God, I said, which is like bullshit.
It just sounds a little.
But I always said, look, I think it looked like he just kept going fight after fight after fight. Like it's like a guy who just keeps challenging himself in a street fight. Like you. Okay, now you. You know, eventually, like he's just gonna run into something, and that's what happened.
He takes it serious when somebody says he has somebody being called the best in a division he's in. Like he's that type of boxer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
like,
he was considered the best boxer
exactly.
in a lot of people's minds. So he was that good. And it's so funny how the LDBC they all started talking shit about him after he got stopped by Rungvisai. Like all of a sudden, like, look, they were claiming this guy was the best and he gets destroyed. Blah blah blah. It's like they never even watched his fights before.
Because they don't understand what a warrior. You see, they come from the LDBC comes from a culture of like jumping people. So that's being a warrior. Yeah.
Jeez, Luis.
That's true. They don't know what. Yeah.
We can look at
I'm
mental strength.
I'm just keeping it real, bro.
Hold on, my nigga. I
They
was
don't fight
talking though.
fair.
Hey, hold up.
My bad, yo.
You a bitch ass nigga.
All right, listen. Hold
Nah,
on.
I'll
Mark.
kill you.
Yo,
now
shut
for that.
your bitch ass up.
I'll kill you for that one. You say that to my face.
No, but I was rewatching some Chocolatito fights. I was rewatching some Chocolatito fights and Estrada fights, and man, you can see how like Chocolatito, how good he is, man. This guy's amazing. Like the way he moves, sets up traps and stuff like that. And the LDBC just. Well, anyways, why am I talking about these people?
Yeah, why are you?
The fact that they didn't appreciate Chocolatito is. I mean, you can tell they're not really boxing.
Remember they were like
Exactly. Puts it in perspective.
Hey, remember when they were like, if Chocolatito's so good, why don't he go up to 122 and fight Rico?
Yeah. Fuck, he's gonna be fighting welterweight.
The other thing in terms of mental confidence, right? Estrada can draw strength, right? In this, from he's in his prime, more close to his prime than Roman is, but Roman can also draw strength from one specific thing, is that he's the only person Estrada stepped into the ring with and not beaten.
Well, you want to repeat that one again, please? I didn't get that one because I was looking at something else.
What I was saying was, this is the only person Estrada's ever stepped into the ring with and not beaten. So
that's
Roman
true.
can draw strength from the fact that he's the only person Estrada hasn't beaten. He knows how to get the job done against Estrada.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if Estrada does know how to get the job done from Roman.
Right.
Whilst Estrada can draw strength from the idea he's in his prime and closer to his best in physicality and best weight divisions, Roman can draw strength from the fact he's the only person this man hasn't beat.
Right.
Yeah, but
that's a good point.
We could say too, he might be younger, but he's been in a lot of wars himself. He could hit a wall too.
He has been.
But who's coming into this fight with a better track record recently? You know what I mean? Like
I would say Estrada because he holds the win over Rung Vasily, which Choco doesn't. He just beat Quadras. Choco, since his loss, his best win is Califoy and Moises Fuentes. So it's got to be Estrada's beaten two guys who were at literally the other before Chocolatito became a champion. The number one in the division was Rung Vasily, and he was number two. So he became I think he became lineal. And then he goes and he beats Quadras, who's ranked number 5 as well. Choco's only beaten one top 5, and that was arguable. He really deserved to be top 5 in your fight.
Okay, so
who has more to prove? I mean, the favorite coming in, I guess, is Estrada.
He's the favorite coming in for sure. But then again, Roman's been the underdog in quite a few fights.
But since Rungvis's side, though.
No, but even before that, Roman used to get a lot of hate from the bookies and shit like that. Like, that's why there was such a big push from Ring Magazine to have him rated as number 1 pound for pound because of how much hate he got. Like, so many bookies would underrate him, kind of like Ioka. We just saw Ioka go in against Tanaka as a near 2-1 underdog, bro. That shouldn't be happening, but it does happen with these guys.
Is this Chocolatito's biggest fight since Rungvis's side? Then we have to say yes, right?
Yes, by far. This is a huge fight.
So he has more to prove in a sense. Like there's more of a question mark when it comes to Estrada. I mean, he beat Rungvis's and then Quadras. He's a top 5, I guess, opponent.
I guess you could say that, but then a lot of people could also say, and Jimmy brought up this point a while ago, that when it comes to the Rungvis's fight, the second fight with Estrada, the Rungvis's fight, a lot of people feel like Estrada didn't so much as win that fight as Rungvis's lost it. So Estrada has to prove things here too. There's still that level of doubt on people's eyes to Estrada and a bit to Chocolatito. That's why this is a great fight.
It's a good point because you look right, like Estrada fighting Gonzalez. Remember, Gonzalez won that first fight. I mean, it was close. It was a good fight. It was years ago. He still has something to prove, right? He still needs to go in there and beat Gonzalez today and say, like, you know, back then was then and today's different. So he still has a lot to prove, man.
Well, all I know is right now, as far as things go to prove, if both of them are retired right now, Chocolatito has more of a chance to get into the Hall of Fame. He has less to prove than Estrada does.
Oh no! Of course. Yeah.
I think Estrada's just fight. I mean, Gonzalez is just fighting because he wants to test himself to see he's still the best.
Yeah,
fighting the best guy. Like, he's already been the best, so he knows what that feels like.
Truth is, both guys are taking this because they're both getting $1 million. That's the main.
I was about to say too, right? Because it's always you'll find that money's usually the thing that keeps them going. But it depends on how bad of a war. This could be one of his last.
Third fight, I would
think.
If
there's any like little guys who deserve that kind of money, it's them, man.
Absolutely, man. I mean, yeah.
This is just a brilliant fight. Like, it's just
could you guys
amazing.
Imagine maybe a possible third fight?
I'll be honest with you, no, because the winner of this has the mandatory fight with Rungvis's.
By the way, Rungvis's is going to be fighting on Friday. Sorry.
Yeah, he's
Chocolatito with Golden Boy.
No, neither of these guys are with Golden Boy right now. They're both on fight-by-fight contracts with Matchroom.
Yes, that's what I.
This is Eddie Hearn's show.
Okay,
fair play to Eddie Hearn getting a
fair play. That's what I was going to say, Mark. You know, the one thing I will say about Eddie Hearn, even though like the zone and some of the stuff that Eddie has to say is like fucking bullshit sometimes to me. Mm-hmm. He does put on these fights. He puts on risky fights. It's like what happened with Dillian White and Povetkin.
And he doesn't wear underwear, so you got to give him
that too. That helps.
That type of confidence.
And he's sponsored by 2Ply.
What is it?
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about it, and again, it's the reason why I stick up for Bob now, because right now, as a boxing fan, by far the most riskiest. I mean, think about it: Lomachenko, Lopez, then it was the fucking Valdez, just Schelt, and then now they just announced Taylor Ramirez. Think about what promotion has put those back to back to back. Even come any other promotion can even come close. You can't even. I've been thinking about it last couple of days. I'm like, nobody. Those 3 fights are actually pretty in today's era. That's huge.
Can I? Iceman in the chat says Teofimo getting 6 million to fight a nobody. You know, these people who are crying about Teofimo being exploited by Bob Arum or some bullshit. They should be more concerned about these guys. You know, the lower weight guys getting more money, man, because they're actually putting on exciting fights.
Let's just put it this way, yeah. This is the first time either guy has been in a combined purse of $2 million.
Oh,
a combined purse of $2 million.
That's unfair, man.
Estrada has made 1 million once, and that was the second fight with Rungvisai. They both made Rungvisai made 700,000. Estrada made $1 million. Chocolatito's highest career payday today is 725,000. This is his career highest payday.
Wow, man,
crazy.
See, and the thing is, some people are gonna say, "Well, the market's just like with women, right? Nobody wants to watch them fight." But the difference is, at least these guys can crack. You know, Estrada and Gonzalez.
It's
where's
weird
the fight
though.
taking place?
Dallas. No, I don't know if it's Dallas. It's in Texas for sure. It's
That's in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they have
Texas
to
is
pay
where
capital gains tax.
Texas is where it's at, man.
But it also, you know, you said the market determines who gets what. I mean, the demand, right? But I think also there wasn't a lot of exposure for these fights. Right now,
It's
they're
in
bringing them
Dallas.
to the United States. You know, they're no longer in Asia or
Yeah,
like
that's
somewhere
true. That's a
in
good
Latin
point.
America.
You
Didn't-
see, the
didn't-
difference
didn't
with
Canelo
this,
say-
the difference
go ahead,
with this and women's boxing, specifically in America, is I am seeing more newer fans getting into the smaller weight guys now, but nobody's getting into women's fucking boxing, bro.
Good point.
Didn't Canelo say that he's only gonna fight with his crowds at, right?
Yeah.
Because he demands a high payday. I mean, so people are gonna. I know Vegas must be like, fuck.
Also,
Well, they're not open for business yet.
Yeah.
They're not allowing crowds, so they can't even bid on this shit. But so now think about it. So he's grossing $1 million.
Mhm.
So after he pays his trainer, airfare, hotel. I mean, that all comes out of his end. All the trainer expenses for the training camp.
Yep.
In tax, he's probably gonna walk home with about $430.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's
Hey, by the way,
lucky,
50% right off the
he's
top.
lucky,
Capital gains.
I think their
capital
training
gains.
costs are cheaper than most people, though, Jimmy. They don't have like the most expensive trainers around.
Hey, by the way,
But
can I
just
say
the
real
airfare,
quick?
and then you got to pay them their percentage, like their 15%. You know
No,
what
they
I'm
don't.
saying?
They don't do that type of shit. That's mostly America.
Oh, really? They don't pay their trainers 15%?
Not by percentages. They have a fee worked out of the Porsche.
Oh, shit.
Real quick, shout out to Chet Collins who donated the super chat. He says, "You guys are bugging. Chocolatito has as many knockouts as Estrada has wins. In my opinion, Chocolatito has more power. Chocolatito to repeat."
But he's doing that. He's doing that in low. He did most of that south of 115. So we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Look, here's the thing. That type of thing always gets to me a little bit because how many fights does Oscar Valdez have?
He's got 29 or 30.
He's got 29, right? He's 29 now.
With
Miguel
23.
Berchelt has he's got 29 now. He had 28 going into that fight. Miguel Berchelt had 33 knockouts. He had more knockouts than Valdez.
Yeah, and he got put to sleep.
I can say honestly, though, I am bugging.
He's on LSD again. And also shout out to Truth Son. By the way, good point, Mark. Truth Son says he also donated the super chat. He says, "Recognize is right. They don't know Warrior. That's what it used to be, and it should be. I forgive Recognize. I like the way he moves his body on Gonzalez. I forgive Recognize.
What's going on here, man?
And I forgive Recognize, and then he quoted somebody. I like the way he moves his body on Gonzalez. I think he's talking about Gonzalez said something about I like the way he moves his body. I don't know. Fuck. Anyway, shout out to Truth Son, man. All right, so let me just put up. Let me just put back the. So this is what we got. Speed Power went to Estrada. I was
Wait, who
surprised.
did we give mental strength to?
Gonzalez.
Oh yeah, okay.
Chocolatito versus El Gallito. All right, so listen, that's the fight this Saturday, man. It's gonna be a good one. Like I said, Friday or maybe even Thursday, depending on some of the plans we've got here. Open Discord. So if you're part of the Discord, I'm going to be creating a sub Discord where everybody can jump in. I'm going to be watching clips from we're going to be watching clips from the Estrada Cuadras rematch. Then we're also going to take a look at Gonzalez's fight against the other Gonzalez, Israel Gonzalez. Estrada. So we're gonna again. I don't want to go back and watch all the other fights because otherwise it just becomes so. Just the last fight to see what each guy has left. Estrada
Which
versus
fight
Cuadras
against who?
2, Estrada Cuadras 2, and Roman Gonzalez versus Israel Gonzalez.
Oh, we're watching Gonzalez versus Gonzalez. Nice.
Can you get a film on the screen so it fucking kind of gets it?
And Estrada's been fighting guys that beat him in previous fights. That's something to be commended too, man. Because Cuadras is a little bit over the hill, but still a guy who beat him.
Are we doing
Cuadras
predictions
still got
today, or are
fucking-
we doing them next week?
Oh, you're right. We didn't do
or
that
Friday.
Friday. I guess we'll do Friday.
Motherfucker had whiteheads on his back the last fight, man.
Yeah, that dude.
I couldn't believe that shit. It's like, man, you couldn't get your lady to pop that shit before you went out through a little medication on that?
Hey,
Seriously, he's getting $1 million? What the fuck, man?
It's just a little pussy.
Yeah, that was bizarre. Ugh. Anyway, yeah. So
I get my wife. She takes the little hairs that are growing out of my back. She shaves them off for me. Yeah.
It's because she's your woman. That's what she's supposed to do.
That's
This
what she
fucking
did.
dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly, man. She doesn't want you to look because it reflects poorly on her. You're walking around looking like fucking a goof with big fucking, you know what I mean? All the fucking hair sticking out.
I want him. I want him to look, at his best. Like I fucking.
I'm unsubscribing.
I want him to think I settle for anything.
Mark says he's unsubscribing. Well, listen.
Oh, come on.
Anybody?
Mark.
No, he uses
Mark,
Bing.
that's not fair, man. Come on.
He uses Bing.
So what?
It recognized, but the Puerto Ricans are used to like taking off their eyebrows and everything. No,
I don't do that, man.
Everybody,
come on, don't lie, man. You're Puerto Rican, bro.
Go on. No, look.
Fucking recognize. Let us find out.
My eyebrows are not that thick anyway. They're like decent. I would say like in the middle. But I know what you mean. I've seen some Puerto Ricans with some real, the unibrow. They got to shave that part in the middle.
No, but I know in Boston, it was for big time in the '90s. Man, the Puerto Ricans were shaving their eyebrows so thin. It was like the thinner they were, the more gangster.
All right, you know what? No lie. I used to put little cuts in them. You know what I'm saying? The little cuts.
Okay,
that, right?
That's it.
Listen, man, that was the fucking style back then, man.
I pissed
Ice baby.
Recognize, is that when you had long hair like Antonio Banderas?
I mean, I used to have a head. I used to have a head full hair, man. It used to be great. I still could grow. Don't get it twisted. I can still grow my hair. I'm not saying I can't. I could. I just choose to keep it small. Short.
Anyone who uses Bing is Antifa, bro.
Oh, come on. You want to use Google, man? Come on. All right. If you prefer, I'll use DuckDuckGo. There we go.
What did Mark say? Anybody does that as Antifa?
Anybody who uses Bing browser is Antifa, yeah. That's where all of the forum boards are, fam.
Well, but you know what it is though? Bing, at least if you put certain queries on Google, it'll censor them more than Bing. So that's why
DuckDuckGo, brother. They're the best.
I understand that, but also at the same point, you can't find Antifa forum boards on Google, but you can find them on Bing.
Well, wait a minute. What are you looking for?
So I can go and call them all faggots.
Oh, wait a minute. Now that type of language, Mark, I think you're
I'm
getting...
calling them a bunch of sticks.
Somebody's been drinking that McGregor whiskey or whatever the fuck he sells.
Hey, I don't drink that shite, bro.
That's right. All right, shout out to John Gonzalez in the chat room. Shout out to John who says hi to the whole panel. Hi to the whole... Actually, I'm going to do it in the John Gonzalez voice. I'm going to do it in John Gonzalez. Hi to the whole panel. Hi. Estrada. I got Estrada by decision. I'm gonna kill him. He never said that. He never said that. Shout out to John Gonzalez then. Yeah, he's got Estrada by decision.
Remember what he said on the air? He goes, "Bye, recognize." I said, "Bye, Gonzalez." He goes, "I love you."
He's so fucking crazy, man.
Oh, where he told
he calls Peter Hunk. No.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He calls Peter Hunk. Oh man, this show is.
Dude, I was literally, man. I had a hard time holding on for a few days after that Dingleberry story he told.
Oh.
I was fucking like and then man, that kid's twisted.
You think so?
Oh yeah, man, I was having nightmares at that one.
He's a good kid. He's just
Great
misunderstood.
kid. Johnny's a great kid, man.
He's a good egg. Now listen, we
He
do have to
reminds
go.
me a lot of that Jeffrey Dahmer character. Very intelligent.
Jesus.
He looks a lot like
Dahmer
Smart, quite articulate.
Yeah, but when Dahmer wasn't drilling people's fucking heads with drills and pouring acid into their brains, he actually was a pretty fucking nice dude.
Yeah, just like John G.
Most of those serial killers, Ted Bundy, was the people who met him said he was one of the nicest guys I ever met. He was in the fucking
Wasn't he like a charming? Like the girl said
dude,
that
he
was
had
very
women
charming?
lining up at his serial killer trial when he just went into a fucking South Florida sorority house, and just because he needed to kill so bad, he just went into the first place he saw knew women would be in there, and he started bashing their skulls, and he killed 2 of them. And yeah, and then he didn't get it out of his system. He went down the street and killed or attempted to kill another woman. No, dude killed like fucking 30-something women.
He did a lot of
But
that
he
in
was
Florida, right?
intelligent. Dude, he was a genius, IQ. He was is like just no, it was crazy, dude. You look.
What state he did his murders in? What
Started
state?
in Washington. He was part of the fucking GOP. He was actually working for the GOP.
I'm not surprised. I'm not
And
surprised.
so he was also a lawyer. Very intelligent dude, but his sexual started when he was a kid by looking at he blamed it on the back in the day in the fucking comics when I was a real little kid. You wouldn't believe the fucking shit they used to have German soldiers tying up scantily women, like just their bras and tied ropes around their throat. Wicked sadist shit. He said that was what pushed his sex drive into, and it just carried on to. Yeah, he did. You know, he had that murder wagon. You get girls inside. The lock was off.
Hey, wait. The guy who he got beaten to death, right? That's the guy that got beat to death in
that's
prison?
Dahmer.
No, Ted Bundy got put to death in Florida. That's where they put him to death. He got getting it put off.
Dahmer was the one that got beat up and killed in Wisconsin.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
By the way, can I just say real quick? I remember in one episode of Second Renaissance, or was it on here on BDA? I remember I just mentioned Richard Speck, and right away Jimmy goes, "Richard Speck, 1969, Wisconsin, blah blah blah." He starts giving all the data. I'm thinking, he looks like he's like the Terminator when they ask him about how the whole Judgment Day came down. It's like fucking Jimmy's
Yeah, dude, fascinates me, man. I've been reading about serial murders, dude, since the '80s, like extensively.
Bro, we need to keep an eye, bro. We need to keep an eye on Johnny. Because he's from Wisconsin, right? And we know what Wisconsin is the capital of serial killers.
Is it really?
Yeah,
yes, it is. Yes,
Holy moly.
He could go after Johnny over there. No, he gets mad at Johnny for something on the YouTube.
Wasn't the Green River killer from Wisconsin? No. Or was that from Washington?
Wasn't that Michigan? Or...
The Northwest has a lot because it's just a wide open space, and the serial killers are all about the hunt.
Where's Jeffrey Dahmer from?
Out of Milwaukee.
Yeah, he was from Milwaukee.
And where's Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
Yes.
And where was John Wayne Gacy from?
A Chicago suburb.
Chicago.
1976. He was a clown. Had his picture taken with Jimmy Carter and his wife. He was a big donor of the Democrat Party.
Isn't that where Johnny's from? Like Wisconsin, Chicago?
Well, in that general area, yeah. But yeah, Chicago.
All right, well, listen, fellas. we gotta end it. But thank you for your service as always. You really helped me out figure some things out with this fight when it came to the graphic there. I'm gonna take a screenshot of each one and I'm gonna reuse it for Friday just to remind people of what we got. And don't forget, Friday we will be doing a joint film analysis. Whether we do it or not, there's still gonna be episode on Friday because it is open lines, anything goes Friday. So I want to thank you fellas again for everything. Really appreciate it. Mark, recognize Gonzalo, Jimmy, and
who's that weirdo? Who's that weirdo you got in your profile pic, Bucho?
That's from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, Big Trouble with fucking Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell, exactly.
Yeah.
It looks like Conchita Wurst, bro.
And the chick from fucking Sex and the City, the blonde chick.
Yeah, man, she was fucking.
By the way, T-Tone is in the chat and he says it was a good breakdown. See, T-Tone's got more pep to his step since he won. He got that victory on the Kumite the other day.
T-Tone, I gotta give T-Tone some credit. I know you're listening, T-Tone. You fought a good battle. You You made you made a guy who was very confident eat his words. That's all I gotta say. Good for Tito.
Well, hey, Bucho, that dude too, real quick, yeah, character your avatar. He was also the fucking gross sensei in Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh
dude
yeah,
who
yeah,
had
yeah.
the-
That's true. Yeah.
He goes, yeah, and he burped. Yeah, same dude.
By the way, Overhand in the chat says that's Bucho himself. that's actually Bucho.
That's how
Yeah, we should do a second. When's the next second Renaissance? We should do it either on serial killers or I missed the last one on movies. That would have been because I'm pretty good at movie trivia too.
Well, it only became one about movies until the end, but by then we'd run out of steam because the episode was actually about NoFap. We had one hitter.
Oh, okay.
We had one hitter there explaining it to us. He says he believes in that stuff because he's tried it. So
he's right. He's 100% right.
Well, the thing that
Jimmy, I want to do an episode, BDA boxing episode on what you know about the PBC because they're coming out with more pay-per-views, which is why I predicted. Well, I think we all knew it was going to happen. So you know more about that whole thing. So you could just talk to us about.
And all
that.
the stars have nothing. None of them fucking Errol Spence. None of them have any dates posted. Nothing.
Yeah, it's true.
They're all up in the air. Well, because this kid, as long as the pandemic and he can't put because he has dates signed with the Barclays Center. Remember, he signed a bunch of dates in different places. If you can't put crowds there, he's just not going to do what Bob has done. He's just not going to pay his fighters because there's no pay to be there. Because again, remember, he's not a promoter. He's just an advisor. That's not his gig.
It's about that,
slick.
He makes money off of what you make.
He's smart though. You gotta give him that though.
No, he's a smart guy. Yeah, he's just not a promoter.
Dude, fucking, he graduated top of his class at Harvard. You know how smart you have to be? No, he's a smart prick. And you know what? He thought he could take over the sport, and when he didn't, he just didn't care. Then it was just about making coin.
Yeah,
and it's now 6 years. How much is Bob Arum just fired off 3 fights in a row? It's destroyed anything the PBC has done in years. So it just
that's what Wilder fans have a hard time understanding, right? He doesn't have that money. So what did he do in the rematch? He took a gamble. He just took a gamble. He said, "You know what, man? Even though I would like to, see how much money I can make off of you, I'm gonna see what you can do in this fight." And boom!
Has anybody ever heard of the PBC even entertaining a fucking purse bid?
No.
Man.
Well, I think
I can't remember one. I can't remember. Maybe back in the day.
Weren't they in the bidding for Povetkin, Wilder, but then lost to Ryabinsky? Am I right about that? Ryabinsky being
right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's back, but that was back when he still had the Waddell money. Once that money was gone,
so he tried then, Jimmy, and obviously he was like, "Yo, I cannot do that kind of money."
Just so I don't forget, all you guys, I'm telling you, little secret. Check Bucho, you're on Twitter more than BDA. Go to Steven Espinosa's account. Very peripheral about his boxing tweets. Before he would be really into it, getting into the threads, talking to people. Now it's the occasional celebration, top rank, this fighter won. He's not talking about boxing. He's not, interacting about it. You can just see it. It's just a different sense. But he's tweeting his shit out of fucking Bellator in that aspect, where the fucking a company that signed exclusivity with them, which is huge, which is what he wanted. Now Fox, so far as what I know, all their dates available are pay-per-views because their Saturday contract I think ends in March. I'm sure they're not going to pay another $50 million. They finished last in every key demographic. So, but anyway, so that's this. I don't see how this thing's going to keep going. I just keep seeing it being sold to somebody.
Yeah.
All right,
fold it in. Okay.
Yeah, let's end it on
that.
that.
Yeah, no, I'll get together with you on that for sure, brother.
All right.
Absolutely. That's a
Peace,
nice
gentlemen.
episode. Hey, by the way, recognize.
Nice.
I'm gonna call you in 2 minutes, all right? Because we gotta put something.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And thanks to everybody. Then again, like Jimmy mentioned, the second Renaissance. That will definitely be Jimmy when you drop by. It's gonna turn into a serial killer episode because it is interesting. People are fascinated by the subject. But anyway, yeah, we'll certainly do it on that, man. And that's about it, man. Hey, listen, everybody in the chat room, everybody that donated with the super chat, you guys really help us out. Don't forget now, you got to declare taxes, American taxes too. Not just because we pay taxes here based on what we do in Canada, but then also nowadays it's going to be in the United States starting 2021. So shout out to Michael Poe, Jaguar, Michael Poe again, Chris K, Reality's Voice, Iceman, Kenshiro, Chet Collins, Truth Son, and the last one was, for some reason I can't see it. Hold on. Oh, actually, it was John Gonzalez, the last one. Yeah, now I see here, John Gonzalez. So everybody that donated, no matter how big, how small, it always counts. So thank you guys. Really appreciate it. I'm going to start putting in 2-part videos. One part free on BDA, film analysis, and then the second one on Patreon. It's going to be even better if somebody wants to join me and do that, and we can put it on YouTube. And that's about it, fellas. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Nordic Warrior in the chat, John Gonzalez, Vince Vegas, Jack Napier, the Fight Scout, Overhand, Friendly Fire, Harpo Marks, Alvarez 228. He's got the Wojak there. Friendly Fire, Vince Vegas. I'll get to scroll back here a little bit. Jonathan Morrison. Shout out to Jonathan Morrison, Chet Collins, Titone Toledo, Grievous. Oh, Titone. Bolt Hype, You Big Dummy, John Gonzalez, the Fight Scout, Steven Schneider. Yeah, sorry about the phone lines that they couldn't. Something was wrong there, and by the time I fixed it. And that's about it. Listen, fellas, thank you for joining us. We'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy. Don't forget Friday, another open phone lines, anything goes episode, and we'll take it on the next one. I mean, what do you mean we'll take it on the next one? Take it easy. That's what I meant to say.
Take it on the chin.
Take it on the chin like a champ. Nowhere else. All right, take it easy, fellas. Thank you for joining us.
Peace.
BDA Gangbang coming soon.
One more time. I'm disappointed in everyone of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in everyone.